Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and
Welcome to Movie Madness Live. I got my pal, Master of Madness here. I don't know where Sci-Fi Dragon is. I didn't say we're talking about Godzilla, so he might not show up. There's a lot going on. We're getting ready for DC fandom next week, and I wanted to cover this because it may be a heated conversation, like a friendly heated conversation. I keep thinking of the Dark Knight trilogy. And with Zack Snyder, it's a loose Man of Steel trilogy. I mean, people would have preferred that we actually got a just Man of Steel, just Superman, but he's featured all through the arc, and it's Zack Snyder's arc too.
Oh yeah.
And what's your thoughts before and after we see the Snyder cut on, in the grand scheme of things, how it will be? I mean, people go crazy about the Dark Knight trilogy. I think overwhelmingly so because it's just Heath Ledger. If you take out the Heath Ledger situation, there's a lot of it pulls on people's heartstrings because that was his last major role. Yeah. He got an award nomination for it. And honestly, if you remove Heath Ledger's performance from the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. The Dark Knight trilogy, it kind of doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't further a bigger narrative like Man of Steel does. You know what I mean? It's telling the story of the Justice League, or at least the beginnings of it. So, I mean, I think in the Dark Knight was just a Batman series. You know what I mean? And we've had different Batman series before with the Burton ones, the Schumachers. You know what I mean? So it's and same thing with Superman, but I think combining the two makes it kind of special, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, besides Heath Ledger, I love Christopher Nolan. Don't get me wrong.
No, they were great movies. It's just
the Dark Knight Rises, though, and I know if Michael S. is here, he loves the Dark Knight Rises. That film was such a disappointment for me. Okay, Ryan might be on later. I appreciate that because I know he'll have a strong take. But even before I see Zack Snyder's with Man of Steel leading into Batman v Superman, that arc, that combination of films, that vision of Zack Snyder, I put it, in my personal opinion, you might claim I'm BS on this, viewers, but I put it ahead of Christopher Nolan because after Batman Begins, Christian Bale, I love him as an actor too, but he kind of tunes out after a while. Like if he isn't passionate about it, that's why he doesn't do too many sequels.
Yeah,
he does. What Man of Steel trilogy? Listen, the Man of Steel is in all three movies. Yes, there's Justice League, there's Batman. Yes, but you can consider maybe you think I'm reaching. Say, hey, Phobic, give me hell if you think I'm reaching. Man of Steel, I could have called it Zack Snyder trilogy. I can't call it the Justice League trilogy because Justice League is not in that. We will have to wait. The really proof is going to be how Darkseid's pulled off. That's the unknown for me because I know I've seen with Cyborg and how the Justice. I think there's enough there. Even in Justice League, you see the beginnings of something great with the actual Justice League.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to see if they pull off Darkseid. He's believable, intimidating, and I'm my hope is it's not too little, because also in comparison, if you compare to the one thing, and I know a lot of you DC fans here are not on board with the Marvel Cinematic Universe all the way. I like it. I love Thanos.
Well, see, that's the thing, and I think it's the Marvel fanboy in me that likes the Snyder one because
Thanos they've delivered on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not in the early Avengers. If you go back and watch the early Avengers and the bonus scenes, Thanos looks silly.
Yeah, no. With the first Avengers and the second Avengers, right? Like,
Actually, the only where Thanos is really delivered it is Infinity War.
yeah,
Because Endgame, I did not like the Thanos in Endgame. I mean, it was okay,
yeah, but
but
it was a
it
different
was
Thanos.
it was not as impactful. And I'd also like maybe I should have done Man of Steel versus Dark Knight Trilogy versus Infinity War Endgame Saga.
Yeah.
How will this rank with those three? Well, I guess Batman doesn't. It's not as epic as that. It's just
It's more local in a sense, you know. But no, I don't know. I've always, as far as my intake of that kind of media, it's always been movies or TV shows. So as far as that goes, I mean, Marvel has, you know,
20. If Man of Steel sequels is the Avengers Iron Man 4 plus, yeah, I see what you're going. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly wanted to compare these two though, because I know everyone loves Christopher Nolan. They go for it. When I go back and I revisit some of the Dark Knight trilogy, I'm like, oh wow.
I really like Batman Begins. I think it was really underrated out of the three.
Yes, Batman Begins was my favorite of with just Batman and Bruce.
Oh, and Ra's al Ghul, man. Anytime you get Liam Neeson in a movie, I mean, it's pretty badass. So.
Yeah, and that Scarecrow was also really going back to look at that.
Well, not only that, I liked God damn it, what did her name? Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawson. I liked her as opposed to Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did they just because of the Tom Cruise?
I want to say it has something to do with that, but I'm not. I don't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that was the reason. That's kind of unfair to her, really.
Well, I think it was Tom Cruise didn't want her to be in the movie or something like that. It was something kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. But like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm not a
no. I mean, that's what
source.
I think that's what the consensus is. That there was something because that's when they were getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise has a lot more pull than you think. If he would do something like that, that's lame.
Yeah.
That's lame. Everyone is getting ready for fandom though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Except for Phobic. Phobic is a Disney fan and a Marvel fan. I don't think. I mean,
it's all right. You can be fans of both, you know.
No. I know, but I'm not saying he's not a DC fan, but I know he sways towards the Marvel.
Well, I mean, we're talking 20 years before a decent Marvel movie ever came out. We had DC, okay, like with the Richard Donner Superman and the Burton Batmans and stuff like that. So it was well before what was it, the Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, basically. Because that 2003 Hulk movie.
Oh, why is Batman vs Superman not Superman versus Batman? It's a Batman movie where Superman guesses. They're both featured equally in there. I mean, I see your point. It could have gone. It just sounds better to me. Maybe I'm just used to it. Superman versus Batman. Batman versus Superman. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have a point there. I think they were equally featured in there. Batman won. Oh, Batman won.
It's more aesthetically pleasing if you put the alphabetically,
Yeah.
Batman B comes before S,
And that's intriguing. Like, how's Batman gonna go beat Superman?
Yeah, I think that gets the upper hand on him.
I think that's to make it believable too. They really have to succeed in the fight to make it believable. Can you imagine a human versus an alien with superhuman powers?
Yeah, and if he didn't have the kryptonite on him, he would have worked him. So I mean,
if you notice, everyone that criticizes Batman v Superman does not criticize that fight.
Absolutely not. It's a good thing he had the same mom name, okay? Because he would have really just finished him.
Martha. Why did you say that? I love that scene. Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense to me. When the whole movie, Lex is doing his best with very underhanded tactics, framing him in the Middle East and saying what happens when he get that. The whole point of that scene, like, why is Superman there? because Lex is trying to say what does he do for our relations outside of this country when he gets involved. That is why Lex masterminded that situation, put Lois there in the frame Superman.
Oh yeah, because she knew that he would show
to put him in that situation where now the public is going to call for it. It is so masterful, the Lex in this Batman movie. People don't even understand. I think people just don't get it. He really did that. And the scene in the courtroom and all that. Oh, it was so amazing.
It was total setup. It was great. I mean, especially the extended cut. Man, it's just so much more that it adds to the grand story. It's so much better.
Really ahead of its time. I've never seen, even though they deal with the weight of death of civilians in the MCU, nothing that pulls you down to the ground like Bruce's eye-level view of it. Now, my only issue still with Batman v Superman is the Doomsday sequence. I do like what Zack said. So if that was Zack's idea to kill off Superman, because he said it's more impactful if Bruce is gathering the Justice League. Like if you're like, say this is a Man of Steel trilogy, okay?
Yeah.
Say if you're going that angle and you introduce Superman in the first part of this trilogy.
Life, death, resurrection. I mean,
how are you going to say we need a Justice League if there's always a Superman?
Yeah.
It's when he's not there anymore.
No, and I think that makes perfect sense. The fact that, I mean, yeah, I was like everybody else in Batman v Superman. When they killed Superman, I was like, what the, where was there, you killed him off in the second movie. So I didn't take that very well either. So, I mean, it's a whole different ball game on there.
Oh, have you seen Fantastic Four 90s films? Yes.
Oh, heck yeah.
I own a bootleg of it. We could do a watch party and actually show it because it's here on YouTube without any copyrights, I think. I'm also going to experiment with copyrights. You could have some stuff on, if you unmonetize it and let the studios take their cut, you could still release it.
Yeah, I did that with the Lower Decks. I just shrunk it down and put it into a smaller screen.
Okay, I still want to see that. I will also give you I might do a separate video on this. I am working on my prize pool for the eventual giveaway. I'm working little by little. Here's a Sucker Punch Blu-ray I got, a steelbook. Now, it's impossible for me to find some of these steelbooks in perfect shape because if you buy them new and sealed, they're like $50. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. If there's a new version, I will get the new version. If Zack Snyder releases an Ultra HD update to Sucker Punch, I will get that. But I got 2 of these.
Nice.
And I found somewhere I got 2 new Ultra HD 300 when it comes out in October, and one for myself. So that's brand new. That's brand new. And I got this for myself, which I'm a little disappointed because this is a variant steelbook. But when they made these steelbooks in the past, they used to make, like this used to be packaging.
Mm-hmm.
They made it look blue steelbook, say Blu-ray. That's so stupid to me.
Oh yeah, no, keep it clean on the front.
Yeah, but I like this cover, and I didn't know that when I ordered it. I'm like, damn it, I hate when they do that, and it's not the best of shape. I like to try to get the best I can, but yes, there will at least be 300 in Sucker Punch, and Dawn of the Dead remake. It might just have to be a Blu-ray because I can't find any steelbooks even for myself.
Yeah.
And then eventually, Zack Snyder's Justice League on physical copy is the goal. The goal. I will make it happen. I want it. And I want to share it.
Physical release.
It's a monumental. Not only is it monumental that we're actually getting it, it's monumental that we could actually physically own the Snyder Cut. I just keep thinking of that. Wow, I want to own it too. I don't want to just watch it streaming. I want to own it forever, where no one can alter it again. I want to own it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man.
Yeah. Geeks Cosmic says Sucker Punch is overrated. I think it might be underrated a little bit. because people dunk on it, and I think that is where the press switched on Zach when he did that. If you notice, something the access media loves to do in press when a director does something that's not not a franchise film, and they show their own vision, and then the press does not really like that director's vision, then they're like dunked on forever. Just like Colin Trevorrow. People love Jurassic World. Oh, Colin Trevorrow's the best. He lost his job because of that movie. I mean, it's a similar situation. I didn't see the movie. I don't know how bad it is, but people really did not like some things in that movie. Controversial story.
Oh yeah, they dunked on it hard.
Right. So if you follow things, the press, the access media press, once they see something like that, they're like, nope, you're done with us. We're not. You're okay to dunk on constantly, and I think that was the point for Zach.
It sounds like they have somebody on the inside telling them it's like, okay, guys.
Geeks, Cosmics, HBO does Blu-ray. They just released Watchmen. Yes. And I fully expect that in the future, they will do something like that too. I just can't guarantee it because I can't predict the future. I'm like, it only makes sense. If you're going to spend money to finish it, to just do the polish, why not release it? And that's a way to recoup the cost of the production physically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I can't guarantee because I mean that is the ultimate goal of the giveaway. There's going to be T-shirts and all kinds of stuff, and it's more like a celebration.
Oh, right. It'll be great, man. This is going to be a lot of fun.
All right, Akancha says, "Oh, Nolan's overrated." I like Nolan a lot, but I think he is. I think part of that he is slightly overrated. I think everyone's like, "Oh, he's such a vision." His stuff he does some amazing stuff.
I think the thing is he's got that FU money, kind of, as it were, as the expression goes. So it's like he can make a couple duds and be like, well, they don't always.
Well, again, that the Dark Knight is where he got his most relevancy. Like people ultimately like, oh, he's a god, and it's because
they did.
Without that Heath Ledger performance, would you?
But the other part of it is him dying, though. If he didn't die, would it still have been the same? I think a lot of us look at it, based on that fact.
Well, people are emotional beings.
Absolutely.
They pull emotion and other outside forces and to push something more into relevancy. So his last film, it was a really great performance. They really made it an event because of that.
Yeah,
and it's
elevated his status.
Push Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan didn't want to do the third Batman movie. He did it so he could do his other projects. I mean, he did want to do it until
it was like it was to fulfill contractual obligations.
Until Heath Ledger, I remember. And everyone always forgets when Zack Snyder took over for Man of Steel that they wanted that same type of thing for Superman. And people did not want a cookie cutter Superman film. Everyone's like, that's not my Superman wouldn't kill. People were like, Batman Superman Returns is too much like the past, and we want to see something different. People forget the context of the time of the film being released. We already saw Batman Trilogy. We don't need to see Batman Begin again. There was a movie called Batman Begins in the last trilogy. So what do you want? You want to get to the stuff. You don't want to see it again. And the reason it was like that, of course, do you not think Warner Brothers would have just inserted Christian Bale into Batman v Superman? They absolutely would. Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan wanted nothing to do with that. Yeah. Why were they in a position where they had to jump the shark and go straight into the intense storyline? It's because, on the Marvel front, they were building it together.
Well, they were way behind as far as that goes.
Christopher Nolan is going to do his thing. He is not going to alter his film for a universe. He's not. He's not going to play along with that.
Yeah, but see, I think that's kind of where they failed on that one because they really dropped the ball anyways.
Well, I mean, I don't blame them. The Batman and Superman in the same universe is a lot harder than some of the things in Marvel.
Well, I think it's more hindsight, I guess. It's just because it's like the success of the Marvel as opposed to the success of DC as of recent. I mean, aside from that trilogy and maybe the first couple movies of the Snyder stuff, Justice League didn't do jack, and it kind of turned a lot of people off about it.
Mhm.
I mean, thankfully, Wonder Woman and Aquaman came out and kind of brought people back to the table, at least.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman, but I was looking at some of the toys and I was like, man, I don't know if this is. I don't know. It's really, and I'm not against female centric or anything, but the cheetah and everything, I just don't know if it's gonna. I'm not. I will be rooting for it all the way. I'm just saying. I'm not. I don't know if it's gonna grab the general audience like the first one did.
Well, as long as it's not cats or something like that.
I'm not. I think it's gonna be a great. I think it's gonna be a great film, but I don't think it's gonna capture. I'm unsure. I'm not saying I'm positive. I'm unsure it's gonna capture the imagination of the public like the first one did. It was also a war movie too, in the midst with Wonder Woman. So that was very interesting.
I think that movie came out at the right time.
Right. So I'm unsure. I'm rooting for Patty and Gail, and I'm always rooting for the DCEU. Let me see.
If they did it on VOD, I'd get it today.
Do I think Nolan will do another DC property? Nope. I think he might produce stuff. He produced Man of Steel.
Yeah, he gets residuals for that.
He co-signed that. I mean, I think he picked Zack Snyder. Like just like he's involved at Warner Brothers. Believe it.
Oh
like
yeah,
he helped get Matt Reeves for the next Batman trilogy. So I mean, I don't know what all positions he has. Listen, if there's anyone that what Christopher Nolan says goes at Warner Brothers for some reason, even before the AT&T change, which is really weird because like if he would, I'm not saying he didn't stand behind Zack, but if he would intervene more there, maybe he didn't want to. I don't know because he picked Zack. He did. He produced the Man of Steel, and he kind of this goes to the back and forth of how much is a producer involved and stuff.
Yeah.
But if he's still doing things for the like Matt Reeves, like he also works with Robert Pattinson, and they shared talent. They share talent and resources. But like, oh, look at what he did in Tenet. I heard a story. I don't know if it's baloney or if it's just like a puff piece or just to get clicks that said Robert had to lie to go audition for. I don't think that's true. For Matt Reeves, like they're in reality, Christopher Nolan's probably calling Matt Reeves. If he had, I heard somewhere before that he doesn't like cell phones and stuff either. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. All right, let me see here.
Hey, what's up, Sir Nerd a Lot? How's it going, buddy?
Good chat. Oh no, don't say goodbye. Mad Max with the diagnosis. Hell yeah. Sir Nerd a Lot smashed the hell out of it. For sure. And until we have Zack Snyder's Justice League Dark Knight. Okay. He's saying the Dark Knight trilogy is his favorite until we get Zack Snyder's complete vision. But I think overall, I feel that there's going to be something really great with Zack Snyder's Justice League. And for that, it's like a build-up. Like Man of Steel was amazing. I rewatched it last week. Man of Steel is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great. I just bought it on Vudu, so I'm like, I watch whenever I want. I like the guy that plays Zod. He's like one of my. Oh
yeah. I'm sorry. I love Christopher Reeves and I love the old
Terrence
one.
But
I'm telling you what, a remake. That's a great pick. I was gonna do a video of remakes that are better. And if you think about it, the Man of Steel versus Zod is
way better. Way better.
I'm sorry.
Way better than Superman.
That's going to be on my list. Should I give you viewers a glimpse of my list? Hold on. Do I still have it up here? Oh no.
And I've seen Superman 2 a bunch of times, and I love that little Terrence Stamp as General Zod, man.
Oh, I don't have it, but I'm going to put that on there. Man of Steel. Better reboot sequel, reboot.
Oh yeah,
reboot or retelling.
Well, I also like it better than as far as like Superman Returns goes too. I mean, yeah, I like that movie for the time that it came out, but it felt like Superman 5. You know what I mean?
Another one that's high up on my list that does not get a lot of love is RoboCop with Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Listen, it's not rated R. There's some really impactful scenes there. Like when they showed him, they're like, he's like, I don't want to do this after he's RoboCop, and they remove his armor and stuff, and he's kind of looks like it's kind of like the Cyborg scene.
Yeah,
like if you look at the Batman v Superman scene and compare it with the Cyborg, with Cyborg and compare it with the RoboCop, man, is that really gets you emotional. And he's like, I don't ever want to see this again. I don't want me to show my family. I don't want to look at myself like this again. And then also, I have to rewatch the original RoboCop, him going around and then them activating like computer mode, because he's basically only there as a face. If you watch the beginning of the RoboCop, the reboot with Joel Kinnaman, the public and politicians do not want to sign off robots that can pull a trigger when there's a kid involved. But he's really only there as a front so the robot could do his job. Yeah. That is such a mind F.
Well, so the funny thing is like the original one, that's kind of what's going on right now in some of our bigger cities.
Yeah.
And then they're swooping in and buying up all the stuff too. It's like, what?
Yeah. I would love to see another crack at I would love to see a sequel to that one, but we know it's not going to happen.
Oh, no.
Also, Michael Keaton's in there, acting real devilish, a villain.
Oh, yeah.
And so is
Michael Keaton. I mean,
and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I like that.
I have that on Steelbook. Let me see.
It's been a while. I have to rewatch that movie. I like Joe Kinnaman. He was in that show, The Killing. I really like that show.
Oh no! I would rather look at Catwoman and watch Justice League than Catwoman. I'm not under delusions. Justice League is better than Halle Berry's Catwoman. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's got Gal Gadot in it still.
But if Halle Berry shows up in my room, it's like, how do I look at my Catwoman? I'm like, you look amazing. So you look amazing. What am I going to say?
Better than you did in Storm. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I liked your Storm too.
No, she was all right. It's just I like.
What happens to a frog when it's struck by lightning?
Yeah, you tell him, Ray Park.
Same as everything else. Oh yeah, that's true. Monteith Williams. People complain about Superman killing Zod to protect a family in Man of Steel, but at the same time praise injustice where Superman becomes an evil dictator. I don't get it. Yeah, well, the general public's not playing Injustice. Only fans, like fighting game fans. Definitely Catwoman. All right, salute. Kal-El is here. Salute. Let me get to the. I wish it was 2021. Me too. Well, after Fandom. No.
Yeah.
Never mind. You know what? It's so exciting to be in the before. I want to be there. I know I said this in the past. I'd rather wake up for 2021.
Well, I don't want to bring up The Last Jedi, but remember how you felt before that movie came out?
Oh, no. Ryan, don't do this to me.
No, I'm just saying, though.
The only thing I'm a little concerned with is not that it's going to be bad with Darkseid. It's just that we're not going to get it's not going to be a Thanos arc with Darkseid, I don't think. Like, there might be some flashbacks or something in the beginning of the miniseries. I know we're probably it's going to be miniseries, but I just don't want it to be cut short. And then I want the CGI to be as good as Thanos, which it can be difficult to top that. We've seen pictures. I just don't know. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I think everything else is going to be amazing. But Darkseid is, immediate. I should do a separate video on that. He's immediately going to be compared to Thanos, and then people, fanboys.
The comics can make the comparison too. I mean,
So
it's definitely something.
The performance of Darkseid to Thanos is immediately going to come up, and people are going to use that, even if the rest of the film is better than Infinity War and all that. Which I can't rewatch Endgame. I love Infinity War. When I try to go watch Endgame, everything feels like blah after they undo everything.
Yeah,
It's
I have a couple that I cherry pick and go back and watch, but other than that, I can't just go through them
well,
anymore.
to compare it, it's like if we eventually get the Flash and Flashpoint, and then they do all these different things with the multiverse, and then they go back and correct it all.
Yeah, well, that's why I like Ant-Man. Ant-Man 2 was good. I like that one quite a bit. How they did more into the quantum realm. So it'd be kind of interesting to see where that goes as far as like multiverses. Some of the theories I've heard are pretty good.
Yeah, Michael Shannon is amazing as Zod.
Oh,
I mean, that's the only thing I didn't like about Batman v Superman, because it's like his corpse is there and he becomes the Doomsday, and it was kind of it kind of took away a little bit of his performance from Man of Steel. Like, I don't know. It's just that's the like I'm iffy about. I could give it a pat because the fight was good though.
Yeah,
and then he's in Doomsday's also like a Ken doll down there, which I don't want to see anything either. It's just weird. It's just weird. The Zod in Smallville was cool. I barely remember that. It was from Force Unleashed. Who was the guy from Force Unleashed?
Oh, God darn it, Sam Witwer.
Yes, he was in Smallville, and I think he in some. Oh, also, I found out that the Pennyworth or whatever it's called for Alfred, that series is still going, and so is Krypton, which I didn't know. So I gotta
check those out.
Yeah, right. I want to give them a shot. I know that I know. Listen, I'm pretty easy guy to please. I like to see it.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's kind of how I feel. It's just like, you know what? Let me kick back for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and show me something. You know what I mean?
Zod is the best comic book villain. Yeah, he's up there. Definitely. Definitely the best that's not like computer generated so far. I think listen, I love DC movies. We just lost a viewer from me saying it. But Thanos was legit in Infinity War. He was intense.
And the build-up was so incredible for that.
When he took on the Hulk.
Oh yeah.
The way he delivered the lines, it wasn't like he was so calm about it. He was so he was so intense with his point of view. You know, he believed it. He felt like he was the hero.
Well, yeah, and I mean it goes back to like the first Guardians movie, where Thanos actually kind of showed up and was dealing with Ronan and stuff like that. So I mean, it was a good build up for that character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because other than that, Doomsday got half a movie, if that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So there was more to be desired.
I understand why it happened though, because if Zack Snyder wanted Batman to form the Justice League, which is more interesting than if Superman's in the picture. Darkseid's coming. Well, we have Superman.
Well,
we don't have Superman anymore. That's so much more interesting. But then if you kill Superman, you have to do Doomsday.
Yeah,
and maybe he would have done, because even Batman v Superman was supposed to be 2 movies originally. It was supposed to be, so maybe the Doomsday would have been. Maybe that's the part they really cut down. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but me.
It would definitely make it more coherent, I think.
Yeah, still likes Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah.
Geek Cosmics, have you guys played the Avengers game betting? I've you know what? I'm getting more and more interested in it. I've seen, some of the characters looked a little plain and bland to me, and I'm not against Marvel. Yes. All right, so
Marvel fanboy here.
Phobic Xeno. You changed back to Phobic Xeno. I thought you were just phobic for a while. You keep changing things. Okay. 2021 will be the year both the Snyder Cut and Meek. Wow, shut up. I didn't.
You didn't pre-read that one.
No, I did not. Thanks a lot, Phobic.
Way to keep us on the level, brother.
Oh yeah, Sir Nerdalot. Winter Soldier is still my favorite. Yes, I think that is the, without like we said with the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger and all that. I think the Winter Soldier is the movie in the Marvel universe that's like most on par with the Dark Knight with like impact and like it really
it had that spy thriller thing to it, which was really, really good.
It's not just a superhero movie, just like the Dark Knight is not just a superhero movie either.
Well, that's kind of. I mean, when Marvel started doing the Sausage Factory, that's what they started doing. They were like, "Well, this is a spy thriller. This is a, a crime caper with the Ant-Man." You know what I mean? A heist story, basically. You know.
Cal also says, anyone watch the Deathstroke animation film? No, but I heard on Fandom they're having a watch party for it. You could, but that's not one you could replay. It's like you tune in at this time, you could watch it with everyone else on the site. And if everyone doesn't know, because I'm not good, I'm not the greatest with details. This is not on YouTube, which I kind of figured out within the last week or so. But you have to go register with the site. And then I was having problems doing that, and then I finally got it. I have go register now because I don't know if
do that.
Yeah, you have to go register. Definitely, because all right, Max certain. Oh yeah. It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. I do think if there's no the question I have for you viewers is, does Ray have an end game? If there's no end game, this is. I mean, even if Ray is right, like, what is the point of this? But I think he has an end game. I think he is going to sue. And you have to question his, like I did a reaction on video right before this. If you're saying there's no question of why he's doing it based on his words, unless you're questioning his motives. And that's hard. I mean, that's pretty harsh if you're questioning his motives. Because the guy's like cash and all that. No, he said, if you go by his words only, this is a purely if you believe him or not. Yeah. And that's subjective. That's people's opinions if you believe him or not. But there's no secret as to the reason he's saying he's doing it. He says, I do. And someone said, oh, I don't care about his acting. He doesn't care about his future acting career. No, he loves acting. But he loves something more, accountability and being good to people ahead of that.
It's kind of like what you said earlier. It's about what's right. You know what I mean? And that's why it seems to me like it's just really unprofessional behavior. I don't know if it's from both sides, but definitely from John's, from what it appears. I mean,
here's the thing. Getting into this type of talk, viewers might say, "Oh no, they use SJWs on here too." Listen, you have your freedom of speech wherever you want to say, in your house, your land, or whatever.
But on a job, it's different.
But you don't. Getting paid for your freedom of speech is different, and then in the workplace, there has to be some type of professionalism and decency. A lot from because Brian, I covered some former comics, DC people, which I have respect for their talent, but behavior and what they promote, it's not decent. It's not good for the workplace. And listen, progress isn't such a bad thing when people should feel comfortable in their jobs. Not everyone's the same. Words do impact people differently. You might say snowflakes or whatever. Listen, there's lots of different people in the world. Some people can't take it. Some people it really affects them where they can't even work. But that's where I'll get to phobic. Ray is an idiot. Let the class have that. You don't know that for sure, though. You don't know. I mean, I love you, phobic, but we can't go to you got to be a middleman. You can't go on one side. You're playing team. This is team sports. Really, phobic. I think you're playing team sports. Like, I understand why. I understand why there is a team that wants to prove, because there is money and notoriety you can get out of being a victim.
Oh, it pays. I mean,
I understand, but you cannot jump the shark and then blame everyone that could be a potential victim or attack them or say you release stuff on our timeline. If he does have an end game, his tweets do seem filtered by an attorney. or oh, I got some guests here.
What is happening, fellas?
Ultimate Enosh.
Yeah.
Dad joke. Engage.
After the vacation, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, man.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good,
Oh,
man.
so glad to have you back on the YouTubes.
Oh, me
Enosh.
too, man. I'm glad.
I hope
We
you had
got
a
the
nice trip.
lantern hat.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got the hats.
Oh yeah,
down
that's
here.
great.
Yeah.
Ryan and I were
What's up?
were engaged like in a serious
Oh
discussion.
yeah, man.
And
It
then
was
we're
like, I was like, Man of Steel, and he was like, Dark Knight, and I was like, Man of Steel. I was like, we'll settle this on Max's
you got
stream.
your Man of Steel in my Dark Knight, and he was like, you got your Dark Knight in my Man of Steel. We're like, we're gonna settle this like men over on the Mad Max stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I thought it was interesting because I love the Dark Knight. Well, I don't love the Dark Knight trilogy. I like some of the films in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes,
I like
the
I don't like the last one at all.
Oh,
I don't like the. Oh,
I don't
my
like the
gosh.
Dark Knight Rises either. I thought it was trash.
We all agree on something. Wait a second, Brian.
I like
And-
Anne Hathaway, but that was about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you Anne Hathaway.
I like Anne Hathaway's out.
Can you give me
I'll
Anne
go that
Hathaway
far.
too?
But that's as far as I'm going.
If you're giving away Catwomen, I want Hallie and I want them all actually. I don't
Michelle.
care about
Well, you can
Catwoman.
have that
not
movie.
not the underage one, not Gotham. No. I'm not getting in trouble here. I'll take all the Catwomen. So.
Oh my god.
What?
What's up?
Uh-oh, what's happening? Poindexter. Okay.
Now you start saying stuff like that, I gotta check out for a second.
Yeah.
You're not looking.
What's going
I
on?
won't talk to you until you do. Okay.
You all right?
on a stream.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
He's being talked to right now.
Okay. We're all right. Man of Steel versus the Dark Knight.
All right. So my vote goes to Man of Steel.
Man,
Well, I mean,
Have a
it's not,
talking to.
it's it's not strictly we won't go too late. We won't go too late. If anyone's
No,
concerned,
I was just hopping in to say, hey.
Yeah,
what's up?
yeah. I'm not gonna be able to stay the whole time.
I get it. I get
He's
it.
looking at borrow time now.
All right. So we'll just ask the question first, then, since you're just popping in, which
Yes.
for I get it. I get that for sure. Okay, so it's not just a Man of Steel trilogy, but I was thinking it's not it is a Zack Snyder's trilogy, but he is heavily focused in all three films, and I was thinking even before I put it ahead of the Dark Knight trilogy. Everyone loves the Dark Knight trilogy. It means so much more to me. The performances there.
I like Batman Begins.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite of the Batman.
And
The performance.
I like
of
the
Bale.
dialogue of the Joker
Mm-hmm.
in The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the costume of Christian Bale in The Dark Knight. I
Yeah.
think it looks it's inferior. I don't care if that he can turn his head or turn his neck. I don't care.
But he looks so much like you.
Thank you. But I mean, yeah, I like Christian Bale. I don't get me wrong.
I didn't realize that about the costume either. I went back and looked at pictures. I'm like, wow, that doesn't look great.
I mean, the Batman Begins emblem was so much better.
Yeah.
This one here, it looks like he's throwing dart, and they were like, "Yeah, that's our logo." You know,
Well,
it's like, just put it
I
everywhere,
love
you know?
Christian Bale, but I really think sequels he loses interest. He's not as passionate. I mean, he's a passionate
I think he was
actor.
kind of passionate about The Dark Knight because he was a friend of
Yeah.
Heath, and
Yeah.
he really wanted to promote that and all that.
Yeah.
I was let down by some of the stuff that went on, behind the scenes with Heath Ledger's Joker. Copying off of that other guy, Tom Waits. Using his performance and calling it his own. But yeah, I mean, it was a different take on the Joker, and that I'll leave it at that. I mean, I like Batman Begins. If this was really Batman Begins versus Man of Steel,
Okay.
I would have to go Man of Steel still.
Yes.
Yeah.
because
The
I think
villain-
even though
villain's
I think
better.
Batman
Villain's
Begins
better.
is the best of the trilogy. It
I
was
think
the
I think
most.
Batman Begins is you and I were just talking about this earlier,
Mhm.
Ryan. Batman Begins is probably where I first started to take notice of movies and when they came out, and like to get to understand like how movies that were coming
Yeah.
down the pipe. Because I was telling Ryan earlier, I remember like I found out the week that Batman Begins was coming out that Batman Begins was a thing. For some reason I just missed that one and I just totally didn't know. So like literally I found out that Batman Begins was coming out and then I went and saw Batman Begins. And I really enjoyed Batman Begins because it was finally a real life take on Batman. It was especially a palate cleanser after Batman and Robin.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, Batman Robin left such a bad taste in my mouth for Batman that I was really excited when they made Batman Begins because it was a fresh new thing. It was a realistic take.
Batman.
I
I like that.
I like so I really like Batman Begins, but I also really liked the Dark Knight. I thought that the Dark Knight was good, but everybody talking about, Heath Ledger, like I was one of those people, like I wasn't excited about Heath Ledger being the Joker until I saw him as the Joker. But even after I saw him as the Joker, he was good for the Joker he portrayed, but I didn't see him as the Joker because it really wasn't comic book accurate. It was his portrayal. It was his version of what the Joker is. And so one of the problems that I had was that it spawned like a whole generation of people who were all of a sudden saying, well, this is the Joker. And so like the Joker couldn't be anything else except for whatever Heath Ledger had, because he had done such a good job acting out that role.
And we were talking earlier, like it was his last movie too. So it was like,
it's
there
gonna
was
make
that
it,
whole,
yeah. I mean, it's gonna definitely make it even that much more important, and so there was nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. My problem came with the Dark Knight Rises, which I felt like from the very beginning of hearing about what it was, like I felt like it felt lazy to me. Like you go from the Dark Knight to the Dark Knight Rises, you didn't even give it a proper name like that distinguishes it from the last movie. I mean, you had Batman Begins, you didn't have The Dark Knight Begins or the Dark Knight Batman Begins. I mean, like it was just like The Dark Knight Rises. It was just like we just named it, just threw something out there, and
it felt like it was building something with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and
I mean, they could have called it anything. They could have called it Shadow of the Bat. They could have called it like Batman Legend or something.
I mean, anything.
It
literally
shows
Batman Forever again.
It really felt like a contract.
Batman Forever for forever.
Batman Forever for real.
It really felt like a contract fulfillment, and not like
it did.
He had something to say.
It did.
Like,
it did.
Like all the two other ones, he had like something to say.
And I realized, I hated that movie for
and it
a
had
long
the
time.
worst vehicle. What the
the bat thing, the bat
wing or the bat,
whatever that was.
Whatever
yeah,
the crap.
I don't know what the heck that was. But the thing is that I didn't realize this until watching the last season of Gotham, that it finally struck me what it was that I really don't like the whole No Man's Land storyline. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. The idea that an American city would just be left on its own.
Oh yeah.
Like for what, some gangsters? Because some gangsters threaten
What's
it.
the gangsters?
Well, but you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
why we have like Navy. That's why we have the Marines. That's why we have SEALs. Like to go in. Team 6.
And the end game is to blow it up, but they're just waiting for Batman to come back to blow it up. Like if you're gonna do that, we're waiting for Batman, so he has to really feel
right.
Like that was the dummest thing I could not get past.
You were right.
Right, they're just waiting around for months and months. For months.
I was gonna say we're not talking about the elephant in the room, which was Bane. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't seen a great representation of Bane. I mean, both Batman and Robin and the Dark Knight Rises Bane, they both suck. The best versions of Bane so far have been enemies.
You might have a lot of people agree with you, though, phobic. That's why we want Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Right.
Right.
You might be onto something, Mr. Wayne.
Actually, if I had, that's a good one. if you have to put the Dark Knight Rises against Justice League, who do you pick? I would go Justice League.
Justice League. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Dark Knight Rises. Oh, definitely Justice League. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I still get to see those actors
Yes.
doing something versus watching Bane go up against Batman and then what's his face is Robin, and it
was so throwaway.
So it was such a loose kind of like well, you can be Robin.
Jordan Bryant agrees with you, Enash. I think the Dark Knight showed the first teaser trailer for Man of Steel.
Thank you, Jordan.
And showed him Sonic Boom in the sky, and I was hooked. I Google anything Man of Steel after that. The only thing I'm concerned with the Justice League, and I wanted to get, I know you guys might have to leave soon. Happy wife, happy life. Believe me, I got
mine's a little bit too, that I've driven 2,400 miles in the last 4 days. So.
And he's like, I gotta stream. I just gotta.
If there's one thing you're concerned, there's one thing you're concerned with the eventual Zack Snyder's Justice League. Mine is, I think Darkseid's going to be great, but in the general public, people are going to be like Thanos versus Darkseid, which is better? I love Marvel too, but I'm DC. I put DC ahead of Marvel, but one of the highlights of the whole MCU was definitely Thanos in Infinity War, not in Avengers bonus scene. That was baloney when he first appeared. But in Infinity War, in Endgame, I didn't like Thanos that much.
Okay.
But Infinity War, that movie, his performance as a CGI character, they're and I might make a separate video on this. They're immediately going to compare the two.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because they were the same character back when they initially started writing them in comics.
Do you think the performance of Darkseid is even substantial enough to compete with Thanos? What we're going to get.
There was a bigger buildup of Thanos in the Marvel universe. He was always at the end and teasing, just like, smiling or something, or whatever it was. We've never actually seen Uxas, or Darkseid or anything yet. I'm sure that it will be, hopefully a great representation. But I have to reserve judgment on it because I don't have anything to go off of yet.
Mm-hmm.
The only official thing that we've seen of Darkseid is just the trailer that was where he was with, or not trailer, not even the little clip of him in the history lesson.
I'll just say this: if Ray Porter does half of a job as Darkseid and actually gets some decent lines and the CGI looks good, whatever, I'll have buy-in, because I'll be honest with you, I hate Thanos. I hate Thanos as a character. I not as a character, but I hate him in the MCU. They completely cut his legs out from underneath of him. I don't believe, like, when they first started introducing him, it was like, ooh, this big bad guy's coming. It's going to be Thanos. And I haven't read a lot of Marvel stuff, but I know who Thanos is, and I've read his history, and I've had plenty of friends who've been excited for Thanos. I felt that by the time we got Thanos, what happened to, I'll just do it myself, and taking the gauntlet and going. Like, and then you're going to tell me that his whole thing is just like this pansy kind of like, I'm just going to go and farm now. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the heck? I mean, Darkseid ain't going to go farm, for God's sake.
Yeah, like, he's like, I have no purpose.
Darkseid's going to go kill every one of you mother freakers. And then,
mother freakers.
Yeah.
Ultimate Enash.
Ultimate Enash. It's alternate universe Enash. It's the evil Spock. It's Enash. Enash. He's coming for all of you, and he's going to use his omega beams on you, just melt all of your faces and heads right away, and then he's going to turn your world into another apocalypse. That is what Darkseid's about. Like, Darkseid is not going somewhere to farm afterwards. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm sorry, there's no comparison.
He can't farm on apocalypse.
He's the hero in his story. He saved the universe. He believes.
Soil,
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if you're comparing villain to villain,
okay,
Enash for the win. If you're comparing villain to villain, okay. Like, there's no comparison with that because you got
Yeah.
one guy who's like, I'm the hero and I'm trying to help everybody by
Yeah,
killing
I'm
half
just talking about like for
I'm
me, I'm
bringing
just talking about
balance.
performance or a sort of presence.
No,
in
I
the
agree.
film.
I agree with that, but
Right.
I agree with the buildup. I agree with the buildup, but I thought the MCU failed the execution of
Okay.
Thanos.
Well,
Like,
wasn't he supposed to
completely
be, like,
failed the execution of
Impressing
Thanos.
death or something like that. It was
The
like
what?
his whole arc. He was supposed to be like impressing death with what he was doing. Or
you
something like
know
that.
that it wasn't really Thanos. It was actually Palpatine, and Thanos was a clone.
Can you get rid of
And-
this guy? Can you get rid of this guy? Get this guy out.
Oh,
you.
no.
For God's sake. No,
All right. No,
I felt the MCU. I felt the MCU failed Thanos because they there was
failed
all
this
this. No, there was
I
all this
disagree.
build up. There was all this.
Where the
build-up
hell is
to him.
Syl? I missed
There was
Syl.
all this build up to him, and then what? Nothing. Like
Yeah.
like there was. I wasn't worried about Thanos in any way. For all those movies, I didn't feel like he was a formidable foe, even for the Avengers. The Avengers had that. There was no problem. Yeah, because even if they got to go back and with some convoluted, even if they got to go with some convoluted storyline where they go back in time, but it doesn't really affect their timeline and it's all just split off.
He's statophobic here. He's
So-
not wrong.
Exactly. Darkseid has done nothing, and yet he's done more than Thanos did in the end. Even the idea, the very idea,
He's
of
done
Thanos-
more with nothing than
the-
Thanos could ever do.
Look, and I'm not saying that bad about Thanos. I don't want to sound like I'm like just like
Well,
hating on Thanos because Thanos is awesome. But
Yeah.
what they showed us was not.
Well, the nightmare sequence was an allusion to the future with Darkseid. So that was something that was there.
That was something, and that's the thing is the fear of Darkseid being there, of what Darkseid will actually do compared to what Thanos did once he finally was. I mean, Thanos,
I just
Thanos
hope
literally sat there talking to a little girl, Gamora. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of villain is that? I wasn't scared of Thanos.
It's substantial and it's not a part 2 of introducing like Doomsday. Have that sequence.
Now, I'll
which is
agree
an
with
amazing
that.
sequence.
I will agree with that.
It's an amazing sequence, but it's
Yes.
like it's there and it's over and it's done. And you're
I will-
like,
I
wow.
will-
Yeah. I mean, the Doomsday thing could have been almost a movie
Yes,
in its own. As far as even in live action.
You
Well,
should
that's-
know me by now. You should
Oh,
know
no.
me
Is
by
this
now.
Thanos?
Phobic. No, Phobic was saying something about us being cultists. You should know me by now. I am the leader of this. Come on. Like, here's the deal.
Way cool.
I love
Way
Thanos.
cool.
I love Thanos in the way that Thanos was written in the comics because Thanos had a reason. They totally cut his
balls off.
in trying to make him like family friendly for the MCU.
Yeah.
And that's what they do a lot in the MCU is there's all this promise of stuff, but when they actually executed it, you're like, where's the meat? Where's the grit? Where's the real brass tacks of this thing?
Yeah.
That's what we're missing. And but I
right.
will give you this, Max.
I like Infinity War, and
I'll give you this, Max. I will give you this. I am not happy with the way that Doomsday was portrayed.
Yeah.
But also,
neither am I.
but also, that wasn't the Doomsday. That was a Doomsday, but
Yeah.
it should have been.
But
the
how are you
Doomsday
going to bring in
because
the
it killed
Doomsday
Superman.
now? Either,
Right.
I don't
You
know.
can't kill
That's what I'm
Superman
saying.
twice.
So you already
they've
did
already,
it.
They've
So
already
why
spent
even?
that.
So
right?
that's something I actually disagree with Zach with. Like, even if
Well,
you're
that's
saying
not, that wasn't Zach.
no,
That wasn't
well,
Zach. That was a
no,
mandate by the
okay.
executives that they were like, because he even explained this. If you watch the Man of Steel watch along party, is that at the beginning when you saw Russell Crowe on Krypton, one of the moons is destroyed, and that was done by the real Doomsday.
Yeah.
And so he was setting up Doomsday. It was a little Easter egg. But again, that to turn Zod into Doomsday wasn't the original plan.
No,
So
and I agree that was a mishandling.
I also
So
think it
that's-
helped to
so that
impact the
was a
Zod
concern.
away a little bit too, because Zod was so amazing.
Yes.
His performance.
It did. It could have been that they, instead of using Doomsday, not really killing Superman at the end, but they could have easily just changed Zod into like Bizarro, even though it's not. It was still engineered by Lex. He still had to use his DNA, It
Would've
could have
been
been Bizarro,
Abomination. Yeah.
and that's fine. It wasn't an exact clone of, it wasn't a clone of Cal, but it was still a Kryptonian. It was still a zombie kind of guy and all that. If they're gonna make Doomsday or a Doomsday out of Zod, then they
Well,
could
I
definitely
do
that
agree with
making
killing off
Bizarro.
Super. I see that. Here's the thing, though, based on what Zack Snyder said about the need to have Batman form the Justice League. Like, if Superman's there, why do you need the Justice League? I mean, you still need them, but it's the impact of.
Well, he said,
forming the
who's
Justice
going to
League.
turn down Superman, right?
Right.
And that's why he wanted
Right.
Batman to assemble the teams, because they can turn him down. He's not Superman. Like, it's like you would join the Justice League out of fear. Like, if I don't do this this guy right here is just going to melt me, or he could, I don't know this guy, he just started a movie ago. So, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I'm sure that there are narratives that they could have taken. They could have somehow, made it to where, Cal gets pulled into a boom tube or whatever, and is no longer available on on this planet. He's somehow, stuck on Apocalypse, and Batman has to figure out, well, how the hell, what are we doing? How do we get him back? And because now we know that they have him and they are coming back. How do we deal with this? I need to assemble a team.
The good sign is that they have a voice, that actor that filmed everything already, including his lines, for Darkseid with Ray Porter. And I don't think anyone really did much for Doomsday. He was just mainly a CGI, maybe motion capture. Someone did a motion capture performance. So that's a big difference between Doomsday. I just
Jordan Bryant says something interesting about, Snyder said the real Doomsday is still out there. And yes, the real
he did, but
he is out there, but you
cannot
can't have him come back. Yeah, you can't have him come back and kill Superman again.
Yeah,
because you can only do that story once. You can only do that story once, and that's the sad part about it, And so, like, that idea. See you, geeks. That is an idea in the back of my head that I really hope that they do Darkseid correctly, because you only get one shot at this.
Mm-hmm.
You only get one shot at this. There's not going to be another cut, right? There's not going to be another cut. After this.
Even if they reboot. They're never going to get to this point again with Darkseid for like 20 years.
Yeah. We're not gonna,
Well, until they do the New Gods. So.
Come on.
Hey, Matt.
I'm about to duck out. This guy gets on.
Yo, what's up?
What's up,
I'm not gonna do anything bad.
No.
I'm too tired to do anything. Bad.
I have a happy wife, happy life. He's been streaming too much. That's we had a guest appearance, sort of.
Who?
Ryan's like,
me.
No, I'm not gonna throw too much heat on you, Ryan, because I appreciate what you add to the show.
Ryan was earning points though earlier, man. He was rubbing her back and like.
I had to.
Oh yeah.
You got to put in the work, because if you don't put in the work,
that's how you get the stream time. That's how you get the stream time.
How I do it.
In the work.
Baby. That's right, baby.
Yeah, you got to lay the groundwork, so then she'll leave you alone. That's how this works.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, he was real good to me yesterday.
we got to have him for next week, so that's why we're like,
What's
happening?
So
with that, I'm gonna bow out, man. You guys have a great night.
And we're looking forward to next week,
man.
Next week's big deal. Big deal.
Crisis dose.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. Wait, what's happening next week?
Never point. Right.
Crisis
this
on
thing,
Infinite Streams.
This thing called fandom. I heard it.
Oh my god,
And
that's
fandom.
next week.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We got more dad jokes.
No.
Or didn't you really realize?
No, I'm just tired, dude. I've been doing. I started a new job, so it's like
I
I've
totally
been doing
forgot
training, and it's lots of training, and I'm just tired.
Oh well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I figured you guys would keep me awake versus if I did my own stream, I would just probably fall asleep.
Well, people might want to hear what Matt Jarbo has to say about my main. I really didn't get into any secondary topics. The main topic took up the whole show.
What's the topic? What's a better movie?
What's a better series? Because I know it's not Man of Steel only in Zack Snyder's, but he is featured privately. Would you put Batman, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and that we can't really tell about Zack Snyder's Justice League yet ahead of the Dark Knight trilogy. Because
I would. Oh, well, let's just judge it on the first two films of the franchise.
Yeah,
Okay, let's not judge it on The Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
Okay, because that demerits it down to like Justice League is a better movie in my opinion.
Right. That's what we
think we're all
yeah, it's not that I hated the Dark Knight Rises. It's not that I hated it. It has a lot of good. It has a lot of good, but then it's got a lot of Nolan. You Sam Raimi this movie, like you Spider-Man 3 this thing. What are you doing? You had 4 years.
Wow, he Spider-Man 3'd it, man. He Topher Graced it.
It was to get Inception. It was to get Interstellar made. Basically,
I mean, yeah, like an Interstellar is a fantastic movie till the third act. Like the first 2 acts of that movie are some of the best ever, and then it just peters off into some weird Stanley Kubrick territory. Yeah. It just anyway. I mean, Nolan, like I haven't even seen Dunkirk. Like the last third of Interstellar pushed me so not against Nolan, but so just done with Nolan that I didn't even go see.
Is he overrated?
No. Nolan is not overrated. No, I would disagree because I
love him though. I love him. I love his films, but people think he's God.
I would argue that Nolan is Nolan, but like Denny, the guy who did Blade Runner is doing Dune and whatnot.
Denny Villeneuve.
Yeah, I can never say his last name. I think he is a more competent filmmaker than Nolan, and I think but I don't know, but I think he's a better storyteller than Nolan. But Nolan pushes the limits in a way like Kubrick did, but in a more competent way than I think Kubrick did, and he does it in this way that's like he experiments, and I give him credit for experimentation.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like for every a last third of Interstellar, you get the entirety of Inception. You get for every last act of The Dark Knight Rises, you get The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like looking at the response to Dunkirk, and it had kind of middling results in my opinion. I think that Tenet is going to knock it out of the park. Like just everything about it.
Well, he does try original IP and writing with his brother and all that.
Which is really funny because his first film was not his first studio movie was not an original. It was a remake. His movie Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams.
Oh yeah,
was a remake of like a late '90s Swedish film by the same name, starring Stellan Skarsgård.
That was his first movie.
That was because I think he did that one before he did Memento because that one came out in 2000.
I didn't know that was his first
it might have. I think it was his first. It wasn't his first feature. I think it was his first studio feature.
Okay.
And that was a good movie.
He does some really interesting things. I think The Dark Knight, because of Heath Ledger, that's really what elevated him and that trilogy. If you do not have Heath Ledger in there,
but it's like look at how he handled like Talia al Ghul though in The Dark Knight Rises. Like like her death was so like just ham-fisted and cheesy.
But I love that word, by the way. I love the word ham-fisted.
Wasn't it? Like
makes me think of a sandwich.
Yeah, ham-fisted. It's like come on down to honey baked glazed hams where we make sure that we serve the best ham-fisted ham.
I don't want to talk about.
All I'm saying, if
I don't want
The Dark Knight Rises was a ham sandwich, I want to be the meat in between Marion Cotillard and Anne Hathaway. Like I will be the meat.
Oh, right.
That's fine with me. All I'm saying is the scene where Catwoman is on the bike.
I'm just not a Hathaway guy. Am I the only guy on the planet?
Watch Havoc.
I've seen Havoc. Yeah, I've seen Havoc. Well, that was one of the things where I was like, my friend hits me up and he's all like, "Yo, you want to see Anne Hathaway naked?" And I'm all like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, watch Havoc." And then it's like, all I've seen. Oh, sorry, let me clarify. All I've seen of Havoc is that scene. That's all I've seen of Havoc.
Yeah, pretty much fast forwarded through the.
Yeah, rest. It's like it's like what movie? Like it's like Swordfish, Halle Berry. It's
pretty much.
Here's Phobic's comments. Nolan made thought-provoking thrillers. What was Snyder known for other than a goofy zombie flick? I really still I think he's ahead of the game with action too. The way he films it, I think in the future you'll go back and watch like the Marvel films where people just they hit each other, they bounce. Like if the Hulk smashes you, you're dead. I don't care. Like your bones, you're crumbled. There's consequences to violence. In a quote way before, I don't know the exact quote. My cousin told me this about Zack Snyder. He's like, when you film violence and you don't show the impact, it's actually worse.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Because people don't just respawn and all that. And then I think about in the future when you just cut away from the result. Like, what's the difference between the MCU and Zack Snyder's vision of the DCU? Is he shows some of the impact. Everything in Marvel is a cutaway, or it happens off screen. People do die in Marvel movies.
I don't know, man. Baron Zemo in Civil War literally drowns a dude upside down in the first 5 minutes of that movie. And I even thought when I was watching it for the first time, I even went back and went, damn, that's violent. You know, I mean, look at the first couple minutes of Infinity War. Straight up snaps Loki's neck. You know, like they don't like the violence in Snyder's movies is far different. Yeah, but it's like, you know, like, but you can't sit there and say that there's no violence. There's tons of violence. The difference is how is in Marvel movies, realism takes a back seat. We know this because they're suspending disbelief. In Watchmen, realism is front and center. In fact, that's the whole point of that movie, of that story, is like it's grounded in this reality where there's only one God, one superhero, and he's American, you know, and that was through a scientific accident. And other than that, everyone's just kind of like playing in his sandbox, you know. And so the way that Snyder handled violence in that movie was very reflective of the tone that Moore and Gibbons were going for. And I feel like, again, comparing the two, it's like, look at 300. 300 is so over the top cartoon violence, but it's bloody as all hell, you know. And it's
here's something else I could describe as Snyder is he shows it. Everyone else alludes to it, happens off screen, or
that's also producers.
He shows everything.
But you also have to look at, like, again, you can't take like an R-rated movie and apply it to Marvel, especially looking at the corporate structure surrounding the films.
Okay.
You know, Warner Brothers has been more filmmaker driven on these properties, which Zach has applauded. Marvel is producer driven, meaning that it's all Feige's baby. Everything is relatively homogenized. It all looks the same, sounds the same, feels the same, because that is the world and the grounding Feige wants to tell. We as comic book movie fans ultimately want what Marvel is doing in the DC movies, but they want it like just a little bit different. They want the continuity, but just a little bit different. And I think and people out there will disagree with me, and it's okay, you're wrong, but that's fine. Because we wouldn't have pushed for Zack Snyder's Justice League if people didn't care about the continuity. You know, we wouldn't be where we are if fans didn't care about the continuity. They absolutely fucking care. Freaking care. But the way I look at it is like Marvel does what Marvel does well, and it's extremely profitable. So what is it that Marvel's doing that everyone apparently is complaining about, but yet still will pay the money to go and see? You know, whereas DC is like trying too many different things, and it's confusing to the audience. Birds of Prey, vastly tonally different.
On HBO Max today.
Oh, I know, they were hyping it up all over Twitter, and I'm like, I don't want to watch. Yeah, I think they bought that trend, if you want my honest opinion. But that movie was not very good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I gotta
rewatch it. I gotta rewatch it.
It wasn't like it was, you know, it wasn't, but it wasn't Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It wasn't Suicide Squad hardly. And that's what I think a lot of people wanted was Suicide Squad hardly, because look, with that movie, people like, look, we can talk about the intricacies of the Ayer cut versus what we got in theaters all day long. At the end of the day, what pushed that movie?
You know what? I want to thank Birds of Prey's failure too, because I think that also really pushed the Snyder cut into relevancy too. When that was the last one, they really tried to sever the Snyderverse, like ignore it.
Well, it didn't even ignore it. It didn't ignore it. It just played adjacent to it, but it was still connected. That's the thing.
but it tried to like sidestep it really a lot with the Jared Leto, even like a look-alike. It was just odd. And
that was also, you know, that's irregardless to like the you know, this is where people get caught up on the canon of it all and the connectivity of, like, there was a Screen Rant article today about how like the Snyder cut like lives in an alternate timeline that's beneficial to DC, and then all these people with this this multiverse nonsense and whatever.
I know there's a whole panel on fandom.
Oh, I know. Multiverse 101, whoop-de-doo, color, woo. I don't care. I don't care. I read that too. It's like Greg Berlanti and Jim Lee and Walter Hamada are going to discuss the multiverse. And I'm like, where's my shotgun? I'm putting it square in my mouth. I'm just, no. I'm just like, I just don't care about any of that because I have a feeling they're going to F it up. I just think they're going to F it up because they're going to try to do too much. And this is the problem with Warner Brothers. And this is the problem with that creative team is that like Toby Emmerich and all those guys, they keep trying to they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their teams. They keep wanting to copy Marvel without directly copying Marvel.
I don't think that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so. Look at let's for example, look at Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey try to be bright and colorful and comedy.
Like a lot of course corrects.
A lot of course corrects. Okay. Well, was or Suicide Squad bright, colorful, and comedy? Yeah, not bright, but it was colorful and it was comedy. It had a lot of those elements to it, but it had a dark layer of grime and grit. You could feel that you could feel that it was meant to be set in the same world as BVS and Man of Steel, that there's this layer of grime that you just can't quite get rid of yet, and because we haven't seen that ray of light that is Superman in the way that people want to see him. And then you go into Birds of Prey and it's just pristine. It's so crisp. The image is so clean. It's all digital. It's not film. It's not grainy.
That wasn't the new regime though. That was still what was left over. That was one of the leftovers.
Because that was greenlit. You got to look at the timeline. Zach was out the second week of BVS back in March 2016. So 4 years ago, almost 4.5 years ago, Zach was out because it was after the second week of BVS when it tanked 78%. That was the next Monday. You got the retrades coming out saying that Snyder is being replaced by John Berg and Jeff Johns. So Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad and Justice League and Aquaman at that point were all pretty much locked and loaded from Snyder, right? And then after that, you had Shazam. That wasn't a Snyder green light. That was a Jeff John and John Berg's green light. Then you've got Birds of Prey was a Jeff Johns and John Berg green light. And, so now then they're out after Justice League. Remember, they were fired after Justice League failed. And then they brought in Walter Hamada, who hasn't done anything. Really?
He's going to be on Fandom.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's the only thing I care about that panel. Is in my opinion, Berlanti has destroyed so much because because he keep giving him power and he keeps just delineating things. Let's add 18 billion more shows. People are going to watch, right, guys? Right?
Yeah,
haven't
seen a single one.
I'm gonna try these shows again.
So I'll just say this, and I gotta go because guys, I'm exhausted. So, but I'll just say this. To go back to the topic at hand, Max. I'll take the Man of Steel series any day, even with Justice League, and that's saying something because I love Batman Begins. And I love The Dark Knight. I just watched him again a couple of weeks ago, and I still love him. And I'll be honest with you, even The Dark Knight Rises, I liked it better this last time that I watched it because I watched it a couple of weeks ago as well. I liked it better than I probably ever liked it.
I can't even get past the plane scene.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's a hard movie to get through. But I'll take Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League even ahead of those. I will say this though about what we're talking about here about all this other stuff going on and who did what and whatnot. Look, the CW, I've had a love-hate relationship with it. When I love it, I really love it, and I'm excited about it. And at its best, I love it.
Try a lot though. I give them credit for that.
Because they do. They try a lot. The problem that I have with it is they've tried to make it political. They've tried to make it make these statements with these shows. They've ruined Supergirl for me. I can't even watch Supergirl anymore. I stopped watching Supergirl, which is a travesty because I can't express to you. I can't express to you. They've made it way too political. I can't stand it anymore. Literally, I've had to just put it aside and say, you know what, this show is not for me because I can't watch it without being preached to about one side or the other. And I'm very much in the middle when it comes to a lot of stuff. And I'll put up with a lot of stuff from points of view that I don't necessarily agree with. But it's but it's like when I'm hammered over the head every week with something that's like this and this and this and this, I gave up. And so, and plus I think that some of the ways that some of the characters are treated is just disrespectful to some of the characters in the Berlanti universe. That being said, there's some stuff about the Berlanti universe that I absolutely love. So I just have to accept sometimes that it's not for me. I know people like my family, they love Legends of Tomorrow. I like the idea of Legends of Tomorrow, but I can't actually get through the show and actually watch it all the time. There's certain episodes I have, but there's certain episodes that I haven't. So I'm just saying, for all of that, we just got to remember that everything that is from even a company that we love like DC is not necessarily going to be our cup of tea. And we just got to remember that for somebody out there, this is something that they like. I don't know what DC fandom's gonna bring. I was just saying on Dawson's stream earlier tonight, I'm taking DC fandom with some caution, because I don't want to put myself into a place where I overhype it for myself, even where if they don't cover certain things that I'm going to be disappointed,
Well, Matt made a video like that. Keep our expectations in
yeah.
check.
So I just think we got to keep our expectations in check. Mysterio just mentioned Stargirl. I love Stargirl. I've really enjoyed Stargirl. There are some different, I hear
okay,
people.
So you stopped watching Supergirl?
Yes,
because you said Stargirl.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. So you said Stargirl. You're like, I stopped watching Stargirl, and I'm just like, but I thought you were like,
oh,
you're like all over that show.
No, I love. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if
I've heard other people say about Supergirl.
I'm sorry if I said that. No, then I take it back. But people are commenting Supergirl, so I'm guessing that
maybe I heard it wrong. I'm dead tired too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, no, I had to stop watching Supergirl because it was so much of a departure, and I just felt like they kept killing the stuff that I love about those. I always feel like Superman and Supergirl, anybody in the super family, should be neutral when it comes to a lot of politics and a lot of things. There are some things, yes, I believe that Superman should be a fighter for justice and for the downtrodden, and I agree with all those things. Well, one of the biggest problems I ever had is because not just because of my personal beliefs on this, but when I heard Supergirl tell her sister in the show when she had a one-night stand with White Canary, that sometimes you just need to have a one-night stand because it's something you gotta do for you and get out of your system, and that it's healthy. I'm not telling other people what choices to make, because there's people who look, they can make whatever choices they want, and they may feel that is appropriate for them. Okay. I personally don't feel that that's probably the best way to live your love life, is just having one night stands. But I don't think Supergirl should be telling her sister on a show where little girls are looking up to her that having a one night stand is a healthy choice, because that's Supergirl. Now, if her sister wants to say, hey, I had a one night stand and it was good for me and I enjoyed it and it was fun and I enjoyed it, hey, that's a totally different story. When Supergirl is adapting a certain point of view, it needs to be a little bit more neutral for me.
So, Supergirl's more like a Girl Scout character. Like, not that that's a bad, not that it's, I get where you're going.
Yesterday, I was just down at the Superman Museum down in Metropolis, Illinois, which was amazing and awesome. And it's got a whole Supergirl section, and it's got every major, Superman related thing. And you go through this and you start seeing the history of the character. And I feel like they've jobbed Superman out on the CW, so I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do to try to rectify some of that with Tyler Hoechlin in the new show, because so far all they've done is job him out, and he's beaten by everybody in the show. So all those things though are just things that I have to understand as a fan. Every show's not going to be for me, and everything's not going to be something that I tune into every week. Would I love to be able to tune into every Berlanti show and say it's for me? Yeah. But even The Flash, even as much as I love The Flash, sometimes The Flash just gets to be like repetitive and just drags out, and just, and so we just got to be honest with this stuff, and have these kind of conversations, that every show and every episode is not going to be excellent. You know, I mean, that's just not it. You know,
Is actually some of the DC Universe shows I think were a little bit better. I think the problem is like fulfilling these big series with like 20 episodes a season. If they just shrink down, we have less filler and less chaos and less, going all over the place with personal politics too. Just keep it on point. Yes.
Yeah, just keep things as these are superheroes. They have something to say. Look, I loved Supergirl, like for a lot of the beginning parts of Supergirl. I thought the first season was great. I thought, parts of the second season were great. And then all of a sudden it just started getting weird to me, where it's like, it didn't feel like a show that was fun anymore. It felt like,
I think we're always going to have these issues at some point with these CW series when they have big, long seasons. And that's also like TV shows have this to go to the syndication in the future. The more seasons they have, more episodes they have, it's better for them for some reason. I don't know all the details, but like on HBO Max and stuff where it's a limited series and just tells the story, it's less episodes. I think it's stronger. I think it presents a better final product. I do want to go back. I want to go watch Batwoman, and I think
Me too.
It's interesting. I want to see the recast, how that works out.
Well, it's not a recast though. See, that's the weird thing.
I misspoke. Not a recast, but I want to see the new Batwoman.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too, like how they're going to make that work, because like I guess I don't understand stuff like that. Like with Batwoman, I have defended that show to a lot of people, because people, I think automatically, because of what I do for a living, they think that I have this bias towards stuff. And I've told people all together, like I've gotten in arguments with people and I'm like, Batwoman should be gay. Absolutely. Batwoman is a gay character. I have no problem with that. My family watches that show. I have no problem with that. Just because I'm a minister doesn't mean that I have a problem with that. I'm fine with gay characters, and I'm fine with her being gay, and I'm fine with if they wanted to have even a gay actress portray her. What I don't understand is when they literally come out and say, okay, we're going to replace the character altogether, but it has to be another gay character. Why? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand why that's the prerequisite. I understand the representation part, but what I'm saying is like I don't understand, I guess, why like we're going to make up a totally different character. But the prerequisite is not just that character is gay as well, but that actress has to be gay as well. And we're going to make this, this statement with it, which I understand it. I do understand it to a point. I get it. But to me, it's like, I don't know. It'd be like whoever plays, like, it'd be like having a world in which Batman retires. Okay. And you have the next Batman and saying that the next Batman also has to be heterosexual. You know what I mean? Like just because it's Batman doesn't mean that it has to be heterosexual. A gay person could one day take over the mantle of Batman. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand like why they have to get
Wasn't
ahead
that what
of it,
happened
though.
with Batwoman?
What's that?
That a gay person took over the mantle of Batman? Just changed the name? It's the same concept.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, because are you being kind of smart about the fact of what they did? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit.
Yeah, no, I get it. I didn't. Well, Jarbo, it's hard to tell sometimes because you're very serious. So it's like
I'm a very serious individual. Yeah.
Yeah. When you make a point like that, because you're right. I mean, that's what they did with the show. Basically, is they basically just took Batman and flipped it. But I get it all. So I understand it, and I fight for it all, right? And like I love all these heroes, and I love these ideas, and like I said, my family watches Batwoman, and I think it's great, and I've enjoyed her in the role. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this, like where they're going with this now. Like how do you like it? Just not even the whole heterosexuality thing, or the homosexuality thing, but like, what do you do with, like, you're just bringing on a new Batwoman? Like it's not even the same character; it's just a new Batwoman now.
Well, I mean, it's got to be execution We got to see if they execute.
Yeah,
if they
I
make
think
it-
I think they have an uphill battle with that, because it's going to be interesting to see, like, how do you just switch that person out now? At least the Batwoman that we've had a connection to Bruce Wayne, had a reason to have some kind of connection to Bruce Wayne, and like what Bruce Wayne would have been when she found out that he was Batman and all those things, like why she would want to do this. Who is this other person? Like where did Batwoman go? You know what I mean? Like how is that going to be described? That's going to be an uphill battle for a show in its second season to absolutely not just recast the lead, but say it's a completely different person. I mean, that reminds me of the Dukes of Hazzard when they totally took Bo and Luke out and tried to put in Coy and Vance. I mean, like, it's just not the same. You can't just intersplice people, and just be like that. They're when a show is based around one person.
I was rooting for Ruby Rose, but I'll be honest, she's not a strong actress, and maybe it was just too much to carry too. So I'm hoping I just know the new actress is stunning. I haven't really looked into her work.
Yeah.
But I hope she's a more competent actress than Ruby Rose is. No, not throwing heat at Ruby. It's just, I mean, we were hoping, I think everyone, even the production, was hoping that she would grow as an actress. And I didn't see the end of season 1. Maybe she just didn't. It was too much pressure. And then she also had her back injury, I think, is another reason. And I'll tell you what, something she probably wouldn't admit, but the constant her becoming a joke on, and that can't help your viewpoint. I mean, you want to say things don't hurt, but come on, if that many people were laughing at you, even though if you want to be a strong symbol in your community, that can't feel nice. I'm sorry.
No, and it's a shame. It's a shame that people.
I mean, people hate
treated her that way.
Watch the episodes to mock it. Let's be real. Batwoman was never going to be as big as a series as Batman. Not saying it couldn't be in the future, but she's not as big as a character now.
Yeah,
as maybe she can be in the future, but at this moment in time, she's not. She's
got such a kick butt look. I mean, Batwoman looks amazing. I love the
I don't like the hair part, like that looks like a wig to me.
I mean, as an action figure, I love the way that she looks both in the comics and in as like far as the action figures that they make of Batwoman, I think look great. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I think that the design that they brought for her to the show looked fabulous as well. I mean, because it looks just like the comic books as far as like when she's got the Batwoman costume on. So,
Well, the big thing here is I think the end of the fandom is going to be the Matt Reeves Pattinson. They're really doing a long panel for that. So they're going all in on Matt Reeves Batman. They're really showing confidence. I'll be honest, that doesn't look good for Batfleck returning to me, but I want it. Like I always say, I don't believe I'm happy for the enthusiasm of some of my friends for Batfleck returning.
Hey, Matt,
I want to okay.
Yeah.
Matt, I was going to ask you a question, and before I get out of here, I would like your take on this. What do you think about the times that are being allotted for these various panels?
The amount of time?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you've been to conventions, you've been to panels.
Yeah.
A lot of it is generally wasted on Q&A. It really is.
Filler time.
And there's a lot of filler time. So they're really, what it looks like to me is that they're really kind of
streamlined.
Yeah, they're streamlining the whole process. There's some things I don't quite get. Like some of them seem a little longer than others. Some of them that I don't necessarily feel should be that long are that long. But another thing too is that apparently there's like different rooms. So there's like a magenta or like an Athena room or something. I was looking on the schedule and it's like I'm thinking that there's going to be it's going to be playing in these different rooms at different times. I mean, I looked through I think
I'm kind of confused by everying. I have to look at
it.
Me too. I've been gone for a week, so I haven't
going to conventions though. It's like I'm looking at the list and like I made a comment on the Film Junkies vodka stream last night that corporate backed diversity panels kind of bother me because they don't feel like they're genuine. And I noticed that was in there, like I think not in the main hall, but in I think it's in the main hall. They have like a CNN real life.
I know.
hero
I saw
panel,
the CNN thing. I
and
was
I'm like,
no
one cares about that. Like, what are you doing? Like, I
See?
understand that they want to mimic Comic-Con. They want to mimic the idea of Comic-Con. I'm gonna tell you guys flat out: 20 years of SDCC. You know what? You don't need half that crap. all people want is they just want the announcements, they want the trailer, and that's it. They don't like the banter.
Yeah.
Like it really depends on what it is. Like for example, I'll give you guys the best example I can think of. Fear the Walking Dead versus The Walking Dead. So if you go to those panels, it plays out like this. They always do Fear first and then The Walking Dead panel second. Fear is one of the most long slogging hours you will ever spend at Comic-Con, because those people, I was there for the very first time they were there, and I was there the last time they were there, as far as I recall. They have they don't have chemistry. I've never been able to get into that show. I feel like none of the cast members like each other.
So you could watch whatever you want first?
Well, no, you can't.
It has to premiere at the time.
No,
Okay.
it has to premiere, and then you have to catch it when it premieres. So you can't. There's no video on demand. And again, that in and of itself is a problem.
Yeah, that's weird. That's so weird.
Well, they want what it is they want everyone to like tune in, and they want to keep people engaged, which is why they're going to be having it be 20, 30 minutes here, 45 minutes there, 15 minutes here.
They wanted to get trending too. Like if it was always available, not everyone would swarm at once.
Well, they could do that if they would go, here's what we're doing. We're releasing this panel at this time. We're doing the Justice League panel at 1 p.m. We're doing the Batman panel at 5 p.m. Yeah. Here's what we're doing in between. Instead of running this loop where it's like, and then, it's 24 hours only. We're airing.
Why is the Flash only 10 minutes?
That's what I was just gonna.
Because there's nothing to show. There's nothing to show.
But they've got the director, the producer, and Ezra Miller there. It's like
and
they're barely going to
they're
barely going to introduce everybody, and then it's going to be done.
Yeah, pretty much. They're going to come out there and they're just going to do a thing where they're going to go, "Hi everyone."
Why is Chris Daughtry there?
I don't know.
He's got a song about Superman.
Oh, okay.
He's got a song about Superman that he's going to do, and he's supposed to, like, I guess, do a new song. I asked the same question, like, who the heck cares about Chris Daughtry being there? Like, that doesn't make
the
sense.
voices behind the cow. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's one of those things where when you look at what they're doing with this and how they're making it out to be, all we're going to get out of the Flash is just they're going to bring the director out. He's going to go.
A joke?
No, Snyder only gets 25 minutes.
No. I mean, after Black Adam, CNN Heroes, right after, like you're doing all these things people want to see, and then CNN. Like the timing is really weird too.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's enough time for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like if it's actually, I mean, I don't know, Matt. I could be totally wrong, but it just feels like that. If you're going to have a thing at all about the Flash, why would it only be 10 minutes?
I keep trying to say, and Max keeps cutting me off.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
All they're going to do is bring out the director who's going to tell you that he's excited to work on the project, that they finally have a script that's worthwhile. That's what Christina Hodgson's going to say. They're going to say, oh, it's going to be Ezra Miller. Maybe whoever played Iris West and who was cast, I forget the name of the actress who was played. She might be back as Iris West in this one. They might make that announcement. And then they're going to give us a release date. And maybe what they're going to do is they're going to give us some kind of animatic for it, like some kind of animated poster, just some kind of tease. And that's going to be it.
Thanks, Phobic. You saved me 10 minutes. Oh, yeah. Thanks for that explanation, Matt. I'm still happy. You're right. There's not much to say about the Flash. I get it. It's actually going to happen. Is the really breaking news?
Well, that's the thing. I just think that if you put all that into it to get those people there who are part of it, like I understand that there's not much to there's not anything to show. I get that, but 10 minutes is not very long.
Well,
you can do a lot in 10 minutes in a thing like that. Warner Brothers used to have 3-hour-long panels, 2.5, 3-hour-long panels at Comic-Con, covering everything, and everything would only get a few minutes here, a few minutes there. So they've done this sort of thing before. Most people just never see it like that. I've seen it like that.
Shorter is better unless you have something to fill the time, because then it's going to be boom, 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 boom. It's going to be hitting all over the internet. Shorter, fast, good content is better. it's going to be more exciting. If it's I mean, as fans, we might want more. It might be longer. But if you want DC to be trending and all this experiment for them to be a success,
But see, this is another reason why I feel like we really have to like watch our expectations of this, because if the Snyder Cut panel only gets 25 minutes, like everybody who's like talking about, well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen and these people are going to show up and this is going to happen and this is going to be shown here and there. All that stuff can't happen in the space of 25 minutes.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, you would literally have to be going, here's this person, there's that person. You watch this video, do this thing, and it's like,
well, where's the room for the Ayer cut and Batfleck coming back and Henry Cavill? There's not room for all that. I think if your expectations are that that's going to happen on Fandom,
unless it's all secret stuff that they're not telling us.
I don't think we're going to get all of that.
Which could be there could be a bunch of secret stuff that
I would hope. It would be nice to have Cavill with the Black Adam panel, and I hope. I mean, Ayer cut just seems like a slam dunk for me. Like, I hope it gets announced. Even if it is going to happen, they might wait on that one. Which I thought before that they were going to do it, but I'm starting to doubt if they're going to do the Ayer. And look, I'd love to be wrong. I'll say I was wrong, and I'll be cheering. But I'm just kind of with that schedule. I don't know.
I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen either way. I don't know what's going to get announced anymore, but that's just kind of what I've kind of come back with now, just hearing what I've heard and talking to different people and stuff. I think there's a lot of people who are super excited for it, and they're like they're overthinking.
Well, Matt warned everyone a couple
they're
weeks ago.
overthinking it, and they're
because
thinking
because I know who you're talking about, Enosh, and you know probably who I'm referring to in my video. Like there's a certain group of people that I like quite a bit, but my God, everything is like anything you ever want under the sun's already been confirmed by some of these people, and it's like, just manage your expectations. Because
on the brakes a little bit.
Like, not everyone knows everything. We're living in a very different world. I think, like, I'm telling you, looking at the schedule, I'm predicting that Fandom is going to be underwhelming to some people.
Okay.
And when I say underwhelming, it's not to say that it's bad.
Yeah.
What I mean by underwhelming is just like, they have designed this thing to be a convention, and people who don't go to conventions are not going to understand the breakdown, and they're not going to understand the picking and the choosing, which is why, which is one of the bigger problems at conventions. This is one of those times where you will have 24 hours to watch what you want to watch. You're just going to have to plan for it, which I think is ridiculous in a video on demand world.
Yeah.
And once it's over, like, it's not going to be up on YouTube or up. And I think that's dumb too.
Have to pay for it.
No, dude, there's going to, trust me. People are going to, it's going to be all over YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Everyone's going to be streaming it. Everyone's going to be streaming it. Everyone's going to be reacting to it. You're going to have a
Warner Brothers is hard to do that with.
The thing is though, they're dumb to do it here. I don't think they'll do it here.
Thanks, folks.
Because this is the event that's for fans, right? But like, look at how much you're doing with cosplay, because cosplay is such a big part of these conventions. Personally, I think cosplay has ruined conventions, but that's just me. And,
not for me.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you go there and deal with that crap and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's, they're trying to, we have kids stuff and we have this. It's like, dude, kids aren't going to watch this. Kids aren't going to sit there and go, mommy, I want to go and look at this Fun Zone thing over here. Like,
I'm still a kid. I want to see the Fun Zone.
You might check it out for 5 minutes, but you're not going to sit there and you don't
know me very well.
No, I'm back to play Minecraft.
Well, that's different. I'm talking like the stuff that's like Y7 and under.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a 2-year-old who likes watching, Incredibles, because to her, those are superheroes. She loves Jack.
Do you want to watch a panel on the Incredibles, little one?
Yeah, she'd be like, yeah, no. Show me Jack. That's the whole point, is like, to make Fandom a success, they've got to consistently nail it on Hall of Heroes.
Yes.
And for some reason they have a Chris Daughtry performance. Who cares? CNN real life heroes.
Oh, that I laughed at. I'm like,
I'm like, who the hell's gonna watch that?
I watch CNN. I'd have the same reaction if they had Fox News. CNN, Fox News are the same category to me. So that's how much I don't like politics.
Yep.
I'm just saying CNN, real heroes.
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
it's gonna be more of a docu-series sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
we've gone to the hospitals best struck, with COVID doctors, and they dress up like Batman and Superman to help the kids feel better who have terminal COVID or something like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
The TikTok nurses work good, I guess.
Hey, if they can give me someone dressed as Catwoman and twerking on a TikTok video, I'm not going to be
unless
too upset.
they get
Yeah, I
Cavill
would be too.
visiting sick people and saying I'm back as Superman. Then I'll love that sequence.
That's where it'll be announced.
I did no, it's not. I look. I talk, so there's that block of like the unannounced, right? And then that should be what everyone should be talking about is that speculation. I asked Mikey Sutton, I was like, what do you know about this? And he's all like, I can't confirm. He's like, but I'm hearing, he's hinting at potentially that being maybe something involving Henry Cavill. So, but again, we don't know yet. We don't know nothing. He hasn't dropped any info. He hasn't dropped me any extra info. I have no idea.
Directed by J.J. Abrams. Everyone's like, damn it.
Well,
Right,
I think,
right.
but the thing with that is though,
McLovin. I love it, McLovin.
I don't think we're going to get a Man of Steel 2 until after Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that they are going to like really try to if they want to push Zack's arc, or maybe they want to like wrap up Zack's arc with Zack Snyder's Justice League, making the Boy Scout Superman, and then lead into a Man of Steel 2. Like that's okay. I think that would be fine. But at the same time, I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be for HBO Max. If I'm being honest with you, I think whatever that announcement is going to be for HBO Max, because right now they realize that we're not going back to theaters anytime soon. Really, like not like we were. So they're gonna have to keep those subscriptions coming in. So announcing something, it's probably going to be a J.J. Abrams project on HBO Max. It could be Justice League Dark. They could be making that into a movie instead of a series.
If they do J.J. Abrams instead of something that the fans are expecting, there's going to be people disappointed.
I think
what's up with the JJ thing. I mean, I haven't heard much about it other than
they spend a lot of money getting him involved.
My only problem with the JJ thing, and then I do have to go, is I've read the script for Flyby that was done a few years ago, and I hated that back then. I like J.J. Abrams, and I've liked a lot of his movies. I've liked a lot of his stuff that he has started. I have not been impressed necessarily with the way he finishes stuff, and my concern is definitely the fact that I do not think that he understood Superman. If he's part of a Superman project, I don't think from reading the Flyby script that was out a few years ago when he was attached before to write a Superman film, I don't think that he understood it all. He had Lex Luthor as an agent of the government, not even the Lex Luthor that we know. He wasn't just the bad guy villain, and he wasn't the billionaire. He was just like this agent who found out later he was Kryptonian, so he was an alien. And it was just like a bunch of weirdness. They had other Kryptonians coming from Krypton, and just it was weird, and just it lost me, and I was glad that they didn't make it. So that's what concerns me, is I'm not convinced that he understands Superman if he's going to take over even a Henry Cavill project. I hope that maybe he's learned something since then about the project, about the character, but who knows? But hey guys, it's all great. Right. I know we're going to have more conversations in the next, week, I'm sure, but
thanks, Enosh.
Love you guys,
man.
Absolutely, man. Love you guys, and always have a lot of fun. And so, bye to everybody.
Did you pick up any action figures on your trip?
Dude, I picked up so many toys. It's unreal.
Oh, are you gonna do a haul video?
Oh my gosh, I have to, man, because I'll tell you what, it's like I went to Comic-Con. Between me and the family, we just picked up so much. We stopped at so many different stores, like along the way. All of a sudden, we just like asked like Siri, like, where's there some toy stores? And we'd find places and stuff that was just fabulous. It was great. I want to
go too. I want to go on a Poindexter vacation.
Oh my gosh, dude, we had so much fun, man. We went to the Meteor Crater in Arizona. We went to Metropolis, Illinois. We went I was at the Superman Superman. I want yesterday. It was so much fun.
I want Enosh as another dad. I love my dad, but not that you're like that much older than me, but I'm just like,
No, I
saying,
get it.
Can you imagine this dad saying you can't get an action figure? Dad, can I have an action figure? And he look.
Heck yeah.
Can you imagine Enosh saying, "Oh no, you put
The
it
only
back,
way I,
son."
the only way I would
But
say
Dad!
no. The only way I would say no is I'd be like, because there's only one of them, and that one's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's two.
You get the next one. You get the next one. No,
Uh,
I've actually done that for Tiftastic, where I've actually been like, okay, honey, you can have this one. I'll wait and get the next one when I find one. But you gotta do what you gotta do. But hey, guys, love you guys. Always have fun. See you later, Jarbo.
See you later, man.
I appreciate your input and stuff. There's a lot of other questions I want to ask you about this whole fandom and just different things that I've heard.
Yeah, I'm around.
But
I'm taking this week off of driving, so because I have the other job now. So
cool. Well, we'll talk for sure. All right, guys. We will see you all another time. Peace out.
It's
Nicotina's
I'm
here.
trying to get out of here.
I'll
get out of here. Thank you.
He doesn't know how to leave anymore.
It's been a while. Hold on a second. I'm leaving. I can't leave.
I'm kicking you. Okay. All right. Hey, Nicotina.
Dude, I came all this way because I wanted to say hi to Enosh, and he just left. Unbelievable. Hey, what's
Well,
up, Max?
he's been saying I really got to go for an hour. He's like he was almost doing the campia, like starting something. Oh, I really got to go. I really got to.
Great.
Hi,
Oh,
Nick.
he's back. He's back. Hey,
What's up,
Hi.
buddy?
how have you
How you
been
doing?
on? How was your travels?
My travels were good, man. They were
Good.
They were good. I had a lot of fun.
It was not the same without you. Everything just kind of seemed to be at a standstill. And
Is that a
just-
Justice Con shirt you have on?
yeah, it's the Justice Con shirt. Oh, hold on.
Oh wow, you really representing.
Well, that's cool.
Oh. Well, I was hoping to have it for the event, but it didn't arrive in time for the event. And in fact, it arrived like a week ago or a week and a half ago. Yeah, so I was like, well, I was a little past the date, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, I missed all of you guys. It was weird. It was weird watching streams and not being able to actually converse. Like I was watching you drive.
You tried a few times.
I know I tried, man, but I was like driving through the desert in Arizona,
Enosh, where's the next action figure?
Hey guys,
I know I tried, but it is what
I'm
it
in
is.
the car.
But it's fun.
So are you guys excited or what for DC fandom?
Yeah,
We are. And I'm gonna go dream about it. We'll see you guys.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye, Enosh. There he is.
He just leaves it on.
Yeah, we are Nicotina, but we have to. We think the fandom itself's expectations are too high. Like what I was gonna say, what Matt gave us warnings. Like I'm rooting for all. No, you I like that's why I like the Matt because
I like the
Leave it to Matt. Leave it to Matt.
No,
just
you call it. You call it. I mean, even the fact is that you're not gonna have the Snyder Cut's official announcement again. Like if they would have waited for DC fandom and they would have alluded to it, and then that would have been that would have shook the house. People would be crazy. I like that we got it the way we did. And that I think that's the reason they did it at that time was to get HBO Max subscriptions for real.
Yeah, I think so.
But is there an announcement like that? Are we going to get Batfleck, Ayer Cut, and Cavill back from fandom? I don't think we're going to get all those. I hope we get that. I really just hope we get the Ayer Cut official. Which I'm kind of doubting that's going to be official. I know we're going to get it, but I don't know if they're going to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to announce that the Ayer Cut. I mean, badass if they do, but that's kind of at this point, I think it's more of a stretch for them to announce that, especially with the Snyder Cut coming out and everything else that they have coming out. But and some folks have been complaining about the 25 minutes for the panel. But I mean, if you're just firing off, it doesn't. 25 minutes is a lot of time. You don't have to come out and say hi to everybody. No, they're just talking right away, and there's going to be a host probably the entire time who's going to be questioning and do all that. But like I said, leave it to Matt Jarbo to be the wet blanket and just kind of put a damper on things.
He cares because he cares.
My words exactly were, remember how you felt the day before The Last Jedi came out?
Don't do that.
Okay,
To me. Don't
so
do that.
I was so excited. I was
Everybody
so excited.
was. We were all stoked, and then the day after.
It was the day of. I saw it the day it came out, and I was like, what was that?
Well,
Like, why did they all die?
I don't think Batflick's going to happen, especially since the big emphasis, the panel for Matt Reeves' Batman is a big panel.
Yeah, if they announce Ben Affleck's Batman, it's going to totally overshadow the Batman as the last panel. I mean, you look at it, that's the last panel of the night, which, I mean, I guess if you want to look at it one way, it's like that's the headliner. You know what I mean? Like that's
So
the main
most
event.
likely, or if we're going to take bets, most likely Henry Cavill associated with some project, not Man of Steel 2, but maybe with Black Adam and The Rock on the Rock panel, or Henry Cavill coming back in some form.
In some form. I still think he might bring the cast of Justice League onto the screen, but I don't think they're going to get any farther than just promoting, Zack Snyder's Justice League. But, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong.
Well, I mean, the trailer, the trailer is going to be enough to see an official, polished trailer of the Snyder cut.
It's going to be amazing.
I mean, Grace my girl Grace, who's got the access, already dropped that. It's a full length trailer, is what she said.
I've already seen the trailer, and it's incredible.
Hey, don't be disrespecting my Grace. I'm about to become a member.
I choose my words wisely when I say this. You know what? I think that she should do a show with Matt Jarbo.
No, with me.
And she'll be like, hey, Matt. Hey, what's going on?
I don't sound like that. I'd be like, what's going on?
All right. No,
you don't remember me, do you, Grace? We met that one time at VidCon.
That one time.
She's got to get with this madness. She doesn't need to get with Matt to talk out about movies.
Wow.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the get down. About movies,
look, Max. You've said clearly. You've said enough here. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
You've marked your territory, bro.
I get it. You bought yourself
it.
a Grace Randolph mask to give to your wife. Now we know the truth.
Oh no!
Now we know the truth, Max.
The truth.
The truth with an F.
I just like when she gets all frazzled talking about movies.
So at the end of the night.
I had some more information than I needed, sir.
I know.
Max is all like, I watch your videos without pants on.
No, I watch. No,
but I wear the mask.
I fondle
I wear the
myself.
mask.
Like,
that never happens. Except for Movie Madness. There's none on right now.
What is this?
I don't know what you just said. I don't want to know what you just said. But I can't tell if you confirmed it or if you're just like being playful. But either way, let's move on from Max jerking it to Grace Randolph. So,
no. I'm not turning this into a block party. No.
Whoa.
No, like a certain block on YouTube. No disrespect. No. All right, let's talk about fandom. I've been streaming too long. This is where this is going. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Did you just get home from work then, Ticketina?
I did get home from work, and I just wanted to stop by and say hi. I know you sent me the link like you always do. And this time I was able to rush home and
good work getting everything together, making all the
it was my pleasure. And this one was a lot easier than the last one because everybody knows each other, so it just came together really fast. The last time there were some parties that I hadn't met yet and all that. So, and then here's the countdown. My buddy Ashish made this.
Subjective Reviews kicks it off.
Yeah,
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Film Gob, featuring Sil, Lady Genevieve, and Lightcast.
And all the times on the website are based on the user's time zone. So wherever you live, it'll adjust to your time zone. That way you have an accurate time on when everything starts.
Fatal J featuring Fan Addicts of Film and Skeletor.
Skeletor, baby.
DC Fandom Watch Party featuring Strong Flicks, Subjective Reviews.
So all those guys are, for the most part, are going to be on all the streams, the next 3 streams. So just to make that clear, That applies to my show, to Ryan's show, and to Dawson's show. So basically, all of them are going to be coming in and out. And then I'll be bringing
until the end of the
some
year.
guests.
Okay.
Yeah, until the end of the Hall of Heroes panel, which would be the Batman. But Dawson gets what is it? Zack Snyder's panel. He gets that panel right at the start. Now it says that it's only for an hour, but we're basically just gonna run it until it's over, and then that'll just kind of transform into the four nerds. Then they'll come on and probably boot everybody else off, and then they'll do their thing, and then Enosh will take over after that, and then it's Max.
Yeah, featuring Master of Madness.
Yeah, none other than the Master of None.
I'm gonna end it with a big party at the end.
That's it, man.
Everyone's invited.
And
we're all gonna jump on.
Okay.
That's it.
So great job. I'm real excited. It makes it even more exciting.
And
it's
also,
gonna be hard to cover everything.
Yeah. But also on that same website, if you go to the top right corner, it has a DC Fandom logo. If you click on that, it takes you to the DC Fandom schedule. So you can make your own schedule. You can, look at the schedule they have set up, and you can kind of compare and see where you want to go. So there's a link to it on that website that you can go back and forth on.
If Raimi directed Man of Steel 2, would be a great move. I wouldn't be opposed to Sam Raimi. He's more of a Marvel fan, though. I'm not saying he's not a DC fan, too, but I would love Sam Raimi to come into the DC universe to make a movie.
We'll see.
I
don't think you should do Man of Steel 2. I think if they do a Man of Steel 2, it should be Zack Snyder. It would only seem
Ben
right.
Affleck or someone. Not JJ.
Ron Howard.
I didn't like Solo.
Ryan Johnson.
Oh yeah. Phoba keeps talking about Ryan Johnson to fix the DCU. You'll break the internet if that happens. Oh my god!
Subvert expectations.
Then we're gonna do the opposite of what you think.
Then a certain pool boy is gonna be interested in the DC movie universe if Ryan Johnson pops up.
Oh god, he's gonna be announced as the new architect of the DCEU.
Oh my god, subverting expectations. I mean, but some think that's what Zach did already with the with the characters. I don't, but that's what a lot of issues are with how he handled them.
Yeah, I think what threw everybody off was the fact that Batman was like killing people, but they did not take into account that he was at a point psychologically where he had given up on that, because it's like, what's the point? I have this guy who flies around, he can kill everybody. I have to do whatever it takes to stop this guy, And plus, we're seeing a Batman that's already had to deal with the loss of Robin, Dick Grayson, and so he's already, he has so much conflict. He's just jaded to all of this, and so when we see him, he's at like his lowest point in terms of like his we call it his morals. You know what I'm saying? Like his code. He's gone past that already, and he's in destructive mode where he's just like, I'm gonna stop at nothing to get what I want, so I can end this guy. And then once he's about to do it, he realizes, that he's become everything that he has fought to prevent. And so I just thought that was such a great movie.
To be fair, some fans of Batman might be like, that's like, people didn't like The Last Jedi with that's not my Luke, that's not my Batman. We didn't get to see how he got there, like the grumpy Luke, the grumpy Batman. It's really to just take people, but this is not the only version of like Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. That's the main storyline. There's so many versions of Batman. I want something different. I've already seen the Dark Knight trilogy. I've seen Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney. I want to see something different. And I think it's within the character too. At this point in his history of Batman, for sure. He's been through everything. He's seen everything. Until there's the Superman, which is very intriguing. How long do you, or Matt, are you still there? I know.
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay, I don't want to keep you up if you're sleeping.
He's just listening.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
He likes to watch.
Well, that's beside the point.
I'm
I'm not sharing my browser right now. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
there we go.
That's a topic I wanted to talk about before we end the show.
What, voyeurism?
No, I'm talking to myself. Not
About
you.
voyeurism?
No.
Voyeurism.
No.
So let's dive
No.
into that.
Max
No,
is like,
I'm
I
I'm
like to
talking about
watch.
Standing
Through
with
the
Ray
mask.
Fisher. Standing
With
with
the
Ray
mask.
Fisher. No.
I am inevitable.
No, with the Ray Fisher situation. I stand with Ray Fisher. I think we can't preemptively cancel people either, though. Like Jeff Johns, like I know I have some bias against him because he treated disrespect with Zack Snyder's vision. I think he was power hungry and just did whatever he can, but that's not that he should be canceled for it. But is this situation really weird going in the fandom with him having panels? I mean, it's weird that nothing is being addressed officially by Warner Media. Like they're talking about investigating Ellen, but this is they're going silent. Are they going to stay silent until fandom comes up? It does throw a weird vibe going into fandom.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have announced already if he was, not on a panel. But they didn't. I don't know. Did they even announce that he was on a panel besides having his name on that big list?
He's on the TV show panels.
Stargirl. Yeah.
I
That's
think.
it. That's it. And you know what? It's not going to be in front of a crowd, so no one can be there. Like, if he comes on, no one's going to be like, boo! It's just going to be like, hey, guys. Hey, how's it going? I'm Jeff Johns, Stargirl. I wrote Green Lantern and everything else. So I think he'll be fine because no one's going to be there to boo him or like yell stuff out, So
I mean, what do you there some people that are questioning Ray though are like, what's his end game? Just to I think he is going to pursue legal. I mean, but Jeff Johns isn't going to end up in jail or anything. Even if he's guilty, he's just going to get he's going to have to pay something out, and he's going to have that on his history for being in the entertainment industry. Really,
right.
Accountability over entertainment. That's his goal. If you believe him or not, some people don't believe. That's really the reason that Ray is doing that. I don't believe it. I trust in Ray until he gives me a reason not to. But some people think he's doing it to prop himself up to get back into it. They're saying he hasn't done many projects after Justice League, and he's trying to propel himself and use the fandom to do this. I don't believe all that. I really think that he likes entertainment. He loves the acting as an art, but he also puts people and accountability above that. And that's something that the history of Hollywood, there's a long history of people just getting a pass because they're artists or directors. They think themselves above that. But
What's up, Dawson?
Hey. Yeah, everyone's tired here.
Yeah,
I'm not tired. I feel great right now.
You want to go? Oh, you want to go for another hour or so?
No.
No, that's not. Do you have
Whenever we get past the 2-hour mark on your show, Max, that's when things have to go haywire.
They already started to go haywire,
and then Jarbo shows up, and it just turns real twisted.
No, I'm too tired for that. I'm now a federal employee, so I've been doing federal government training for since 8:30 this morning. So
good job.
Yeah,
good job, Matt. Taking care of
good job, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a government. This is cool. I gotta say that line. Like, I swear to protect the Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Really?
I got sworn in this week, so I actually got to say the line, and then I'm like, yeah, right. And then the rest of the oath was just like, okay, get to the, let me get back to that enemy shit. Like, let me save the world one census form at a time.
Well, it's like that part on The Rock, It's like they always say that, when someone's turning against it. It's like, I'm gonna get you made.
Directors are weird too. They are themselves divas. So I mean, throw it right back at them too. What kind of shenanigans? It was a very volatile environment.
Look, if you want my honest opinion about this Ray Fisher thing, everything he does is with the approval of Zack Snyder. Okay. So everything he's doing is with the approval of Zack Snyder. If you want my honest opinion, I think Zack Snyder hates Joss Whedon for what happened, and I think he's got every reason to. It's not all
Right.
Joss Whedon's fault. There's a lot of, there's Kevin Tushihara.
Oh, he
there's
took
Toby
advantage
Emmerich.
of it, but that's the game of Hollywood too.
Well,
Yeah.
they also, but Jeff
Profit off
Johns
of
and
someone
John
else.
Berg also came in and took it away from him.
yeah,
Right. I mean, it was, so he's got animosity towards all these fucking people. So he definitely is like probably very happy with the way things are going. And I think Ray is being loyal to a friend. And I think, and I don't know if it's for a personal gain down the road, but I think all things considered, it's like if he wants accountability, we're in this Me Too era now. It's like push for it, screw it,
Yeah.
get the win you want. And clearly Warner's is allowing him to say these things too,
Yeah.
because he would not say these things otherwise. Not leading. I mean, but wait till we have something big is going to drop this week before Fandom. I mean, they dropped the Joss Whedon panel at Comic-Con at home, but he still popped up in another panel. And so like, is Joss Whedon gonna pop in somewhere on this one? Are they going to announce the Batgirl movie directed by Joss Whedon?
No. I hope not. I mean, they might. I highly
No,
doubt
no.
it.
Well,
I
it would
doubt it.
overshadow the Batman, the buzz on the internet.
there
would
is
be
no,
like,
There's no way. There's no way.
That's dumbcock predicting. Sorry, Matt. There's no way they're doing the Justice
Oh,
League.
right.
There's no way they're doing the Justice League, finalizing it, and then have Justice League or Joss do a new project.
but if it's in a different timeline, then it doesn't matter. It's all
Oh,
going to be
God.
part of
Different
the
universe.
multiverse.
It's a
Oh, the
Hey, they
multiverse.
tried to craft the Star Trek into darkness,
Oh.
man. Bullshit.
You
Oh God.
You want to know a way? Hey, chat. You want to know a way to drive Matt Jarbo crazy in the future? Say, but the multiverse. Whenever he's trying to make a DC video.
That's why I'm not going live anymore, Max. No one can
But-
no one can cut
But
me
what
off
about
on my
the
own.
multiverse? Whenever he tried to make an argument, but what about
It exists fine. Give me something good and I'll change my tune. In the meantime, it's like I think they even realize it. I think that's why they're focusing on HBO Max.
I don't want to talk about Mel Gibson's history, but he can direct. So I wouldn't be. If they announced him for any movie, I wouldn't be opposed from the directing. But
An Apocalypto style DC movie.
Oh.
Is there
I love that
is there a
movie.
Jewish
It was pretty
DC
good.
hero?
oh my goodness,
That would
No,
just be
man.
funny.
No, man.
Okay.
No, man. Oh,
Time to change
No,
topics.
I'm just asking because like if Mel really wanted a redemption arc,
oh, my
like
goodness.
who? No, it's what is
Okay,
there
all right.
any? It'd be like
Well,
it'd be
I gotta
like-
go, guys.
No, it would be perfect for if you were to direct a Superman movie, it'd be Schuster and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's he could direct the Miss Marvel movie? Anyway.
Oh, God.
The jokes I'm trying to make are all influenced by sleepiness. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna
thanks a lot for those.
Well, I am trying, Max. I am on my best behavior.
Yeah.
So
this is the best. Okay.
This
This
is the
is-
best behavior, Matt.
this is
Mel,
I'm not even.
Mel Gibson directing.
Did anyone even hear me on David on the vodka stream last night? Like,
No, I didn't.
No.
I missed that.
I totally missed it.
I made it really. I made such a bad joke. I had to issue 2 trigger warnings first.
Oh boy.
I had to do it. I'm like, I'm joking. This isn't real. This is a joke.
Phobic? No, damn you, phobic. Now you got phobic going. I'm not highlighting that comment, phobic. No way. I think we need to end. No way that's going to be on my. No, don't say it.
Hold on.
No,
Phobic. Should it star Liam Neeson?
Yes.
It's an action movie.
Ray Fiennes.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah. Well, Liam Neeson was Schindler.
I know, but they should both
Oh,
be
Ray-
in there.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
was Ray Fiennes
my
Fiennes
dear.
in Schindler's List?
Oh,
I-
yeah, he was.
yeah,
on
he
the
was-
script. He was
Okay.
the commandant.
Oh,
And then-
I
This is
honestly never
why
saw it. I
and
never
Kim-
saw it. I never saw
Okay.
it. So.
All right. Well,
This
that's
is-
gonna
Well,
do
it came out in '94. I was so young. My parents are like, "You can't watch this movie." We watched it up to when the one priest dude got shot in the
Can
head.
you imagine if the Seinfeld episode
We had to sign a waiver.
came
So
out today where they're laughing at the movie? People,
Dude,
Seinfeld.
do you have any idea how bad the internet gets on 9/11 when they try to cringe joke the entire thing? Like you think laughing at Schindler's List now is like, no. there are people out there that on 9/11 when people are trying to mourn what happened, that they will send memes and jokes and they try to make people as mad as
boy.
possible
That's
because
horrible.
that's how they commemorate 9/11. And Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's some pretty bad stuff.
Well, I'm
Not
feeling
funny.
feeling real dirty at the end of this episode, and I wanted to feel great. So
So do you
I
want
wanna
do you want
feel
us,
great.
you want us to leave while you go watch your Grace Randolph video?
Oh, God.
that would be better than this scenario. Talking about the
You heard it here. Mad Max the Mandalorian. Masturbate.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, that's a fair.
all right.
All right.
Still said it. It's still funny. Still
Okay.
It's okay.
As long as
So-
Matt is laughing, we're all good.
All right.
It wasn't my funniest joke.
Hey, to listen to the chuckle. It was good.
All right. Well, all right. Final word comes from Nicotina.
What?
This is what the original topic of the video was. Now, this is before we see Zack Snyder's final Justice League. Where does it rank as it is now to you compared to the Dark Knight trilogy? I know it's not exactly a Man of Steel trilogy with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, but he is featured throughout. And to me personally, I put Zack Snyder's ahead of the Dark Knight trilogy. And that, just get your final opinion before we go, and then you say go sub to Nicotina and rethink Matt Jarbo. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment.
No, go sub to Nicotina. But your thoughts on that?
You know, I liked the Dark Knight trilogy. Dark Knight Rises, I didn't like so as much as I liked the other two. I thought Batman Begins was a great movie. It was more of a comic book movie than the other two were. The Dark Knight, I think, is still a really good movie, regardless of it. You know, that it's a Batman movie. I think it's just a good movie altogether. However, you know, Man of Steel and BVS are two of my favorite films. But I think that I need to see Justice League in order to compare trilogy to trilogy. So, but since I'm only basing it on two movies, basically, I would say at this point, I don't know. I have so much respect for the Dark Knight trilogy, but I love what Zack Snyder has done with Man of Steel and BVS. I'll go with that.
With Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems to be the
Yeah.
consensus.
Yeah. Maybe if the Dark Knight Rises was a little stronger, it'd be better competition for me.
Or had led to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had momentum going with Batman Begins and the Dark Knight, and then
Well, I mean, one point you didn't really. You one point I think you're overlooking here is like Nolan was involved in both properties. So Nolan,
he was.
He produced and they modeled Man of Steel after the Dark Knight. So you know that carried over into BVS, and then also what we're going to get with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
So that's why earlier I was going to make that point, but you know it's kind of hard to compare the two because they are intertwined. Their DNA is connected.
What do you have to go there for?
Why do I have to? Well, why do I have to
Dose of reality.
I know.
Yeah.
Their
DNA.
DNA.
Why do I have to pay attention to things? I don't know. It's my gift.
He's
It's
like,
my curse.
their man juice is connected. Like,
They both just nutted in a petri dish and
Oh
then just
my
like
God.
mixed it together, and then Jeff Johns drank it.
oh god,
Oh boy.
what the?
Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got it in my tummy.
Oh, what the hell? All right.
he thought he would get his power by drinking all that. He's like, this will make me more powerful.
Fair
And
enough.
why do you think Man of Steel spends most of the time in the sea?
He chose
All right.
poorly.
Yeah.
All right, and then Nicotina, I'll do one more question, then
What's that?
then you end the show. Is there
Okay.
anything that you have concerns with Zack Snyder's Justice League not delivering upon? Mine would be Dark Side. I am looking forward to. It's a game changer, but I don't want it to be. I want to be a substantial performance, a substantial amount there, or at least be impactful enough that you really feel it. I still feel some people in the panel earlier in the show think that Thanos. They weren't that impressed by Thanos Infinity War. I think Thanos in Infinity War was amazing, and
Yeah, so
Endgame
did I.
not so much. But that's going to be the go-to comparison because they're similar villains too. Thanos versus Darkseid. Now that we finally get him, are you have any concerns there?
No, because I mean the fact that Darkseid is a god, and so he's so powerful, especially his Omega power is so extreme that if you kind of look at the what was actually being put forward in terms of the nightmare sequence, obviously they defeat Steppenwolf, but Darkseid is so powerful that he's able to just basically show up and just annihilate Earth and all of its defenders. So even if there is a Green Lantern, which there probably is, he obviously dies at one point, and they all get wiped out because he's that powerful. And to be honest, in the lore of Darkseid, he's so powerful that his being itself is like a, how do I say this the right way? Like it's like if you kill Darkseid, you're actually not killing the entire entity that is Darkseid. That's how powerful he is. So he manifests himself into a physical character, but he's not entirely there. He's also, he's a like this is a bad example, but he's like Q. He's just a being or a force that's out there. But no, I think if you look at the Nightmare sequence, he annihilates Earth. He kills probably one woman. He kills Aquaman. Cyborg is half a cyborg because he's that powerful. They didn't stand a chance. And then obviously we see that Batman gets captured. All the rebels get annihilated, get lit up. So it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad outcome.
Here's an interesting observation of that. In Infinity War, they were fighting Darkseid. In Endgame, they were fighting Uxas.
What?
Think about that. Think about that for a second.
That kind of makes sense because, like,
bam, Brian got it.
Yeah, because if you're gonna make that comparison,
because
the 2014 Thanos was kind of before he got the
before he got the gauntlet, before he got any of the gems.
Yeah.
So he didn't get his power yet. He was still, he was still unrefined. He was on his mission, but he wasn't as knowledgeable as he was when we met him in Infinity War.
Yes, in Infinity War, he was more knowledgeable. He was prepped. He was ready. Like he was there to fuck them up, and he did. I mean, at the end, when he has the gauntlet and he needs one more Infinity Stone, he shows up, and they're powerless to stop him. I mean, none of the Avengers can even come close to him.
Yeah,
the
they
only one
destroy that stone, and he just uses the time stone to turn it back.
He was. Yeah, no, I agree. He was much more powerful in Infinity War. But yeah, because they went back. He came from the past, and so yeah, he's definitely not. I don't want to say not as powerful, but not as knowledgeable as he was.
Yeah.
He was more ruthless, I think, in Endgame than he was in Infinity War. In Infinity War, he knew what he wanted. He was very dedicated, very motivated.
Yeah.
And then he was still kind of like a blunt instrument in Endgame. And I really appreciate that character arc, the way that they did it, because it kind of felt like, it kind of, if I'm, a Back to the Future 2 reference here, kind of like he was Biff Tannen in Endgame, Biff Tannen 1958 or 55 Biff Tannen, but then Infinity War was more like alternate 1985, where he was like the more or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm tired. You guys kind of get what I'm trying to say here. It's
yeah, I get it.
It's not as succinct as the other analogy I made, but yeah, either way, I still think Thanos was like a badass villain, and I love those movies. And like I want Darkseid to kind of be like, how much Darkseid we're gonna get, I have no idea. It probably won't even be much.
Right. I just don't want to be like anticipating. That's the one thing I'm worried about. Like I want it to be, even if it's not a big performance, that it be so substantial and impactful. I just don't want a redux of Dark or Doomsday coming in at the end, a big action sequence, which was still cool, and then that's it.
I think
less can be more. Yes, less can be more if it if it delivers.
Right, and we still don't know the entire battle with Steppenwolf. Besides, some of the scenes they put together with the stunt choreography of that last battle. So we don't even know how brutal or how what the extent is of that last battle with Steppenwolf in terms of how powerful he was in that version, in Zack Snyder's version of the story. So we still might be. I'm pretty sure we're going to be treated to definitely a much better end battle than we got in the theatrical cut, which was a joke. So I mean that I'm looking forward to just seeing a better end boss battle than what we saw in Justice League.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's end it. I should have ended it a while ago. Everyone's tired. But thanks for coming in, Nicotina. If you haven't subbed to him yet, sub to Nicotina. Sub to Matt Jarbo. It's worth it. I promise. Brian, Master of Madness, is a good friend here. And I know at least Brian, I'm working on Matt coming on next week. We'll see. He might be busy with his new job.
If you're if you're going to be on late, like he'll
just jump on.
My hours are I'll be streaming myself during the day. So, cause no one's invited me on any streams or asked me to take part in anything. So I'm doing my own thing. I'm just saying that's true. That's so true, but it's fine. I
tried last time. You're like,
last time it was like, can you make a video? And I was just like, I got busy and I felt stupid that I forgot. And it was that.
It's fine. Don't worry
I'm taking the day off, but I'm taking that day off of work. I'm just like, I'm going to sit at home. I'm going to watch this and
I'm excited.
Do my thing.
Yep. I'm excited. My pants are coming off for fandom.
Never see them.
Thank God.
I'll have them hanging on my chair. No. My pants, of course. No.
I don't know what that meant, Brian, but
I didn't want to make it sound like I had Max's pants over my chair. That just sounds fucking weird.
Oh, I know. See, this is where we should have ended it earlier. All right, good job, Nicotina. Props to Nicotina for putting this together. That's a lot of hard work. I am not that organized. Just watch my show. Thanks for watching Movie Madness. Bye.